Chapter 42:14. With a startling sound, the Shenhui cut hard in the center of the challenge arena and swallowed Su Yifeng in an instant. Bang! The impregnable border in the middle of the challenge arena burst into pieces, and people realized that during the war between Longchen and Su Yifeng, the great array above the void was gathering power in the dark. Just after Su Yifeng killed those people, the power of the big array seemed to be saturated for a moment, and it was a shock to the world. When Longchen sees the situation, he runs away, but Su Yifeng is unlucky. His reaction speed is slow, and he is hit by the attack. Although he just wipes aside, he still utters a scream, and half of his body disappears. Even with Su Yifeng's strength, he has no resistance in front of the divine light. If he retreats a little slower, he will surely die. Boom! In the middle of the border burst, forming a huge channel. Countless strong see this scene, crazy rush to that channel. Damn Terran, get out of here. Powerful people of all ethnic groups rush to the passage at the same time. No matter how big the passage is, it is crowded. When people are too close, they will be threatened and repelled. Some powerful people of the demon clan take the lead in attacking. Damned demons die. In this state, humility and retrogression will only miss the chance to win the Holy King. If we meet in a narrow way, the brave will win. When we don't fight at this time, we will fight. Puff, puff, puff. Strong people of all ethnic groups gathered together to form a huge torrent, like thousands of troops crossing a single wooden bridge. Kill, countless creatures roar. At this time, the strong people of all ethnic groups are red-eyed. In this case, if I don't kill you, you will kill me. Unless you don't want to fight for the throne of the Holy King, you have to do your best to kill me. Boss Guoran looks at Longchen. Now everyone else rushes in. Guoran is asking Longchen for instructions. No hurry, Longchen was fighting with Su Yifeng, but at this time, he lost his shadow. Originally, Su Yifeng was close to the core area. Although he was seriously injured, he was the first to rush down because he was too close to the passage. Today, the powerful people of all ethnic groups rush down at the same time. Looking for Su Yifeng is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Instead of rushing down, Longchen chooses to watch the change. Longchen always thinks that the challenge arena of the Holy King is strange, and he doesn't believe in the idea of seizing the first chance. In the end, the qualification of the Holy King must depend on strength. It's extremely stupid to fight blindly. It's not only Longchen who thinks so. There are many strong people in all ethnic groups who keep absolute calm and watch silently. In fact, although many creatures are impatient, they are not fools. The most important thing is that they see Su Yifeng rush down for the first time. Su Yifeng is the pride of purple blood. As soon as he goes down, others will be moved. He wants to rush down with him. This caused a chain reaction. More and more people rushed down, fighting extremely fierce, bloodbath. Do not know how many creatures died in chaos. When countless people die, they don't even know who killed them, let alone what enemy killed them. For a time, the scene was in chaos and endless blood was surging, but people seemed to be red-eyed and rushed down crazily. It's not right. There are strange fluctuations that affect people's mind. Be careful. Mengqi looks at the chaotic fighting ahead. Her face slightly changes. Everyone step back, don't be affected by the blood. Longchen also noticed that it was not right to the public. People's hearts were awed. Before, they also had a strong intention to kill. Watching the Terran being killed, their anger surged up and they really wanted to rush to kill. Now they are reminded by Longchen that they realize that the strong intention of killing is that some force is seducing them. If they rushed to such a chaotic battlefield, they would never come back alive. Now that they have calmed down, they can't help but be afraid. As the crowd retreated, their consciousness became more and more sober. Looking at the countless strong men, they still rushed forward and then rushed in. They could not help shivering. Those disciples who were almost eliminated on the stairs looked at Longchen and others in awe, and looked at the bloody rain in the center of the battlefield. They were very grateful to Longchen. If it wasn't for Longchen, they would have died twice. Before, Longchen didn't fear rumors and fought fiercely with Su Yifeng. It was all because of them. Their gratitude to Long Chen was beyond words. People can understand the true meaning of life only when they are on the verge of death. Although they may not understand the true meaning of life, they understand the value of life. Kaka kaka. Suddenly the whole Tianwu arena was full of cracks. The challenge arena is going to explode. Li Qi exclaimed. Bang! With Li Qi's exclamation, the challenge arena exploded, and people's bodies fell down. And the collapsed arena turned into endless light and rain in the void, pouring down with the crowd. When the arena disappeared as two peas, the crowd was shocked. When the dragon saw the battle, there was a ring, which was exactly the same as the above. It's just that the area is much smaller, less than 1% of the original area. The core area of the challenge arena even has a light shield. In the light shield, there are 9 golden dragons. The 9 golden dragon heads, inside and outside, are like dragons. Their mouths are open and they seem to roar. Facing the mouth of the 9 golden dragons, there is a golden bead. There are strange waves in the golden bead. When we see the strange waves, including the dragon dust, everyone's eyes shrink. The Pearl of Qi movement. The Pearl of Qi movement was met by Long Chen in the world, but Long Chen knew that the Pearl of Qi movement could not change his fate, so he gave it to Guoran. After Guoran got the blessing of Qi luck, he was lucky and lucky. Even if he flew to the fairyland and was framed by so many people in such a dangerous place, he was still safe. It can be seen how powerful the blessing of Qi luck is. Now, as soon as the bead of Qi transportation appears, both Long Chen and Guoran are jumping wildly. The strength of the bead of Qi transportation is hundreds of millions of times stronger than that of Qi transportation to Guoran. The gap between the two is just like water drops and the sea. Boss. Seeing this bead of Qi Yun, Guoran suddenly became crazy. At the beginning, Long Chen gave Qi Yun to him, and he finally knew how important Qi Yun was to a person. Even he regretted countless times that he should not have accepted this luck at the beginning. If this luck was given to the boss, his achievements would be higher. Now seeing this bead of Qi, Guoran secretly vowed that even if he fought for his life, he would help the boss get it. Hands on, at this moment, even Long Chen couldn't help it. He stepped on the void and rushed to the core area. However, as soon as the dragon dust moved, there was a sudden change. On the challenge arena, there were ditches. Endless blood poured into the ditches and flowed to the border. After the 9 dragons in the border got the nourishment of blood, their eyes suddenly moved. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:15. The eyes of the 9 golden dragons moved, as if they had been given life. At that moment, the fierce breath bloomed rapidly. Boom! A golden column of light appeared on the border of Jiolong. It went straight into the sky, directly broke through the border of Challenge Arena and rushed into the sky. Boom! All of a sudden, the golden light column thickens rapidly. In a flash, a huge channel is formed on the 9 days. The channel has just been formed. The dark air is filled on the 9 days, and it goes straight down. The golden channel, as if it had been dyed by ink, turns black rapidly. Then a frightening scene appeared. In the huge passage above 9 days, countless creatures appeared. As soon as the creatures appeared, Xia Chen and others exclaimed, "Dark monster." They did not expect that there would be dark monsters here. The smell of these monsters is the same as that of the monsters in the restricted area of life. The difference is that they are more powerful and tyrannical. Monster. When they saw the monsters at the end of the passage, people suddenly looked silly and stopped killing. They never thought that they were fighting for luck. How could they open a door to hell? There are many people who have never seen Diablo before. When they see these unknown things, they are full of fear. These monsters have huge heads, long hands and long feet, big mouth almost occupies half of the head, serrated tusks, flashing cold light, full of bloodthirsty taste. How could that be? Outside the challenge arena, countless strong people were stunned. Even the older generation of strong people didn't know the dark monster. Although they don't know these dark monsters, from their cruel eyes, sharp claws and ferocious appearance, we can see that these creatures are not good. And the strong men who know the dark monsters are changing their colors and their hearts are sinking. How could that be? After the Chaos War, haven't the Diablo monsters been banned? They should never be able to get out of the life-forbidden area? The old man screamed in horror. The appearance of dark creatures indicates that the next dark war is about to begin? Someone's voice was shaking and his eyes were full of fear. On the challenge arena, the audience was silent. Similarly, people outside the challenge arena were also scared, and the whole arena was silent. The creatures in the challenge arena looked at the dark monsters in the channel and did not dare to move, while those dark monsters seemed to be curiously looking at the bottom and did not move. They won't come down, will they? Guaran swallowed a mouthful of saliva with difficulty. Squeak. Guaran just finished the sentence. The dark monsters made a squeak, and then people saw the black torrent, falling from the sky, straight to the challenge arena. Step back and set up a defensive formation based on the border. Long Chen yells. When these dark monsters rush down, Long Chen's heart is awe-inspiring. The chi and blood of these monsters are stronger than those in the forbidden area of life. With Long Chen's command, the dragon blood soldiers immediately retreated, while the disciples' reaction was obviously slow. However, Long Chen warned in advance, and did not pull the dragon blood army's hind legs. The people on their side retreated rapidly, and at the first time they retreated to the edge of the border. In this way, they would not be attacked behind their backs. When Long Chen retreated, countless creatures roared and rushed to the dark creatures. At the same time, they yelled, "A group of fools, I don't know that this is the test of the Holy King Challenge Arena. Whoever kills many dark monsters will be the Holy King in the future." Boom. As soon as that person's words came out, someone was immediately moved. This is the Holy King Challenge Arena. These monsters will never appear for no reason. As soon as that person took the lead, countless people rushed to the monster torrent. There are even super strong people who go up against the current and wave their magic weapons to break through the void. Suddenly, countless dark creatures are killed one after another. Although there are a large number of these dark creatures, their strength is lower than medium in the fairyland, which is fatal to the general fairyland strong, but it is nothing to the super strong. Inspired by this, countless strong people are killing these Diablo monsters one after another. There are too many strong people of all nationalities. Those monsters are killed before they even land. Even monsters can't afford to kill. Seeing that there is no danger, more and more people join the fight. However, Long Chen was always waiting and didn't mean to make a move. At this time, some disciples behind him couldn't help themselves. Should we also make a move? You can go anytime you want, but he'll put it in the front. Once anyone leaves our team, they will never come back. My boss can save you once, but not for the rest of your life. Life is your own. You can make your own decisions. Guaran Cold Tunnel. Seeing that Guaran's face was gloomy, some of them were upset. Some of them said coldly, "You have saved us, and we owe you a favor. However, if you want to rely on this little favor, you want to command us. It seems that it is too much. Besides, even if you don't save us, well, come a little slower at most, and we won't die on the stairs. Please don't pretend to be a savior, let alone to command us." As soon as the man opened his mouth, the faces of the soldiers of the Dragon Blood Army suddenly changed. This man was so ungrateful. What bullshit are you talking about? If Elder Martial Brother Longshan hadn't taken us in, we would have died on the stairs. Your mouth is hard enough now. When all ethnic groups wanted to kill us, it was Elder Martial Brother Longshan who shocked others. Why didn't you stand up at that time? You were just a dog full of food and biting good people. Before waiting for Guaran and others to speak, countless people stood up and yelled at the man. A group of spineless guys, different ways, do not conspire, I have nothing to say with you. With a sneer, the man turned to Longshan and said, "Longt, I owe you a favor. I will pay it back after I climb the mountain. But am used to freedom and am not bound by anyone. Let's say goodbye." After that, the man left the team, drew out his weapons and went straight to the core area to kill. As soon as he entered the monster torrent, he killed several Diablo monsters in succession. It seems that he really has two skills. Sorry, I'm going. As soon as the man left, many people rushed out. Millions of strong men rushed out because they saw that others were killing the Diablo monster. They were afraid that they would not have their share behind them. They rushed out one after another in spite of Guaran's warning. Those people rushed out, immediately let more people heart. They also began to move up. Guaran just wanted to speak. Long Chen stopped him. Acquaintance is fate. Parting is the end of fate. Some things cannot be changed. Life is their own. Don't try to change the fate of others. I can only give them a chance, not a second time. Long Chen rode. About 6 or 7 million strong people left the team. Long Chen didn't say a word and let them leave. However, most people still chose to believe in Long Chen and stayed here honestly. Roar. Suddenly, the dark torrent suddenly became violent, and then countless dark creatures with silver stripes came down from the sky. www.Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:16. As soon as these dark monsters appeared, Guaran and others sighed and shook their heads. Then, they expected the picture appeared. Countless students rushed to the front, were killed by those Diablo monsters. These monsters with silver stripes are too familiar to Guaran and others. They are the elite of the dark monsters, and their strength is equivalent to the pride of the Terran. And stronger than these creatures are the monsters with golden lines, which are equivalent to the bipolar supremacy of the human race. The monster with golden grain was in the forbidden area of life. Even the dragon blood warrior didn't dare to be careless. Nowadays, among the ordinary monsters, there are monsters with silver stripes, and occasionally there are those with gold stripes. You don't have to think about it. These people will suffer a lot. The most terrible thing is that at the beginning, there were not many monsters with silver lines, but in the blink of an eye, they became the main force. And there are more and more monsters with golden lines. The claws and teeth of golden monsters can almost fight against the boundary artifact. The weapons in people's hands are less and less threatening to these monsters. Puff, puff, puff. There are more and more Diablo monsters, just as the sea pours down. The terrible monsters spread in all directions like a tsunami. Countless powerful people scream in horror and run back one after another. However, it's too late to escape now. Countless people are inundated by the tide of monsters and torn to pieces. All the creatures killed by these monsters can't escape and die completely. And those strong people who broke away from the Dragon Dust team, they were originally in the edge zone, and fled when the situation was not good. Brother Longchen, help me. One of the disciples cried out in horror that he was the first one to leave the Dragon Dust team. At this time, he no longer had the previous self-confidence and arrogance. He ran in a hurry. Behind him are hundreds of millions of dark monsters. He was scared out of his wits and ran desperately. I've given you a chance, but you wasted it. You killed not only yourself, but also others. In this world, no one owes anyone. You don't cherish your own life, but you want others to save you. Sorry, I'm not a saint. I can't do it. Long Chen shook his head. Long Chen, you can't help me. See Long Chen so reply, that person roars. However, his roar slowed down, and then he was engulfed by endless monsters. Others disappeared, and the scream was drowned by the roar of monsters. Prepare for the battle. The dragon blood soldiers attack. The temple of war god assists. The disciples of Xingha's sect defend on the flank. They can attack or defend. They can change by themselves. And the academy disciples assist the whole court, and they can see where the stitches are. As for the other disciples, if they have the ability, they will defend. If they have no ability, they should not make trouble and watch quietly. In the face of the monsters coming like a tsunami, Long Chen is quiet. Puff, puff, puff. As soon as the words of Long Chen came to an end, the swords of the dragon blood soldiers had come out of their scabbard, and their swords were surging. In a straight line, the dark monsters with blood and flesh flying all over the place were like huge waves on the rocks, which broke open in an instant, and the momentum of charge was interrupted in an instant. Only a move, but the terrorist charge will be interrupted, and a pair of weightless, effortless look shocked countless people. Originally, the disciples of the Temple of God of War were upset when they heard that Long Chen asked them to assist. You know, the disciples of the Temple of God of War were all warlike people, and they were very proud. When Longchen asked them to assist, they felt that they just looked down on people. But seeing that the Dragon Blood soldiers were only more than 2,000 people, they were shocked by the terrible power. It's not only them who are scared, but also the strong ones who fight in the arena. Although it's just a move, 2,000 people attack at the same time, in order. When the power of all people erupts, they can echo each other and gather together to form a mysterious force field, which is frightening. If it is 2 people at the same time, maybe you can understand, but 2,000 people can do this kind of cooperation, it is appalling. Kill, after a short shock, the disciples of the God of War Hall attack the remaining dark monsters from the side, while the disciples of the Xinghe sect summon visions one by one, and the Xinghe River flows around with amazing lethality. The dark monsters were killed as soon as they approached. The disciples of Xinghe sect are surrounded by stars, and their breath is amazing. Their visions can echo each other and bless each other. Together, they are like blessing a star array. When the charge was interrupted, the threat of these dark monsters was greatly reduced. Even the disciples of the academy didn't have to fight at all, and the other disciples, let alone, could only watch. Longchen, what do you think? Mengqi and Longchen side by side, looking at the passage above the sky, endless dark monsters fall, Mengqi's eyes, with a dignified color. I'll stand and watch with you, of course. Longchen said with a smile. Mengqi smiles and looks at Longchen white. Looking at Mengqi's smile, Longchen's heart is melting. Unfortunately, there are too many people here, otherwise he has to hold Mengqi and kiss her. Seeing Longchen staring at herself in a daze, Mengqi blushes, but her eyes are full of joy. After so long separation, her thoughts have already gathered into the sea. But as 2 peas, she did not even have a chance to express her longing for her longing. But the familiar eyes of Long Yao made her feel very comforted. The appearance of Longchen was exactly the same as when she first met in Fengming Empire. She can feel that Longchen's love for her has never been reduced, but Mengqi doesn't dare to be too excited. After a glance at Longchen, she says, "What do you think of these dark monsters? What are they good-looking? Many women around, one by one, sunfish and geese. The moon is closed, the beauty of the country, the beauty of the world, which I can't see. How can I have the mood to see them?" Longchen, with a smile, said in a voice that only a few people around could hear. Longchen's words made all the girls blush and heart beat. Longchen's praise was too explicit. Although he knew that this guy was intentional, they were still happy. Don't make trouble. Be serious at this time. Mengqi is a little angry. Longchen nodded. Although he wanted to leave here immediately and talk with all her confidants, now is not the time to joke. Longchen's face was a little more serious, looking at the space channel. This Holy King's meeting is very strange, the rules have all changed. The Holy King meeting has become a meeting of raising poisonous insects. The selected Holy King is the king of poisonous insects. If you want to be the king of poisonous insects, you have to kill all the enemies. It seems like a trap for people to kill each other. However, the appearance of dark creatures has broken my original understanding. It seems that there is another conspiracy in this Holy King's meeting. What do you think the plot will be? Or what is the purpose? Mengqi said. Longchen shook his head and was about to speak when his face suddenly changed and he yelled, "Guo Ran, kill them! www. Novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:17. When Longchen saw that there were several furtive figures in the endless group of monsters, he suddenly felt bad, because he noticed that those figures were mixed in the dark monsters, but the monsters didn't attack them, and they didn't seem to see them. Poof, Guo Ran, holding a golden crossbow, flew out with a golden light and accurately smashed a figure's head. The figure burst, powerful magic gas burst in an instant. Obviously, it is a strong demon. Puff, puff, puff. The golden crossbow in Guo Ran's hand vibrated, and golden arrows flew out. Every arrow killed a living creature. But what makes the dragon dust pale is that these creatures are not only demons, but also monsters. Bang, another strong man was shot. At the moment of being shot, he threw out something which was a spherical object, and it exploded when it was thrown out. At the moment when the object is smashed, a strange liquid flies out and scatters in the void. When the liquid appears, a bad smell comes to your face. Roar. When the ball burst open, endless dark monsters, as if stimulated in general, roared wildly and rushed to the area. So vicious, when Guaran and others saw the scene, they couldn't help but get angry. These guys must have dealt with Diablo monsters. This is to lead all Diablo monsters to them. This is to kill people with a knife. Boom boom. In the crowd, some creatures couldn't rush over and directly threw the ball to Longchen. Without waiting for Longchen and others to respond, the balls were detonated one after another. Originally, they wanted to throw the ball into the Dragon Dust camp, but after they were found, they simply detonated the mysterious ball directly. In this way, countless Diablo monsters were stimulated and attracted here one after another. It was closest to the location of Dragon Dust, so it could not detonate in the crowd, but the effect was not too bad. At that moment, the dark monsters in the whole arena suddenly stormed away and rushed to Longchen. At that moment, many disciples on Longchen's side changed their faces and even looked desperate. It's over! It's over! It's over! Some people howled in pain. They had never seen such a terrible scene in their life. They were desperate. And the Terran strongmen outside the challenge arena, seeing this scene, are all angry, but helpless, and can only watch it quietly. However, they are gratified that the Terran is divided into two camps. The camp of Longchen only accounts for about 1/10 of the Terran. Obviously, these people are against Longchen, not the whole Terran. Boss, start fighting back? Guaran asked. Wait a minute. Don't worry. Follow the regular rhythm. Longchen shakes his head. He coldly looks at the creatures running away and doesn't kill them. Boom. Endless dark monsters rushed to this side, and people fought hard to resist, but there were too many dark monsters, and people had to reduce the formation. However, the Diablo monsters came all over the world. They almost abandoned all the creatures and rushed to Longchen. At this time, other races had no pressure and became spectators. And the other strong people of the Terran, watching Longchen and others besieged, someone showed a schadenfreude smile. There is rain in the sky and disaster in the people. Aren't you very strong at Dragon Dust? How did you become a turtle at this time? Someone cried out. You don't want to keep your strength and fight for the crown of the king, do you? Keep your strength and let your subordinates die? Some people sneer. So it is. You take in the weak. You want to take them as chess pieces to help you delay. Ha ha, it's really resourceful. It's rubbish. It's very respectable. It's disgusting to pretend to be a savior. For a time, countless curses were heard from the ranks of the Terran. However, the cursors were hidden and only made sounds. No one knew who said it. Shut up, all of you. The garbage with rhythm on purpose. We all know who Longchen is. You can't see the light, you just know how to spray the garbage secretly. What's the qualification to comment on others? Finally, among the Terrans, some strong people can't help but stand up for Longchen to fight against injustice. You fools, the people of the demons, the Blood Clan, and the Monster Clan are setting up Longchen. The people with long eyes have seen it, but you have no conscience to make sarcastic remarks. Are you still human? Someone yelled. That's right. You shameful rubbish, you have the guts to stand up and talk. Let's see which force you come from? What? Afraid to? You are afraid that the Dragon Dust will settle accounts with you, a group of useless sprayers. Some people sneer. Longchen is besieged, can't you see? This is a conspiracy. They have a grudge against us. They want to break it one by one. If they die, I'm sure it's our turn next. Do you still want to watch the fun? Why don't you come back together? Yes, it's a conspiracy. We are all human beings. We should fight against foreign enemies together, instead of sitting here watching the tiger fight and climbing the bridge to watch the current. If they all die, our Terrans will lose some of their strength. Don't you understand the reason why our lips are dead and our teeth are cold? Someone shook his arm and yelled. That's a good thing to say. What does their life have to do with us? Longchen won the crown of the Holy King. Will he share my luck? who can't say high-sounding words or grand principles. Everyone is a competitor. Are you kidding? Whether it's a human race or an alien race, in front of the crown of the Holy King, you are all enemies except yourself and save them? Some people disdain tunnels. Well, I can't tell you the truth, but I know that as a human, the Terrans should keep watch and help each other. Even if it's competition, there should be a bottom line. Everyone wants the crown, but I won't lose my bottom line because of it. Especially when foreign enemies look around, we can't just sit back and ignore them. Look at those creatures. Do you know how many tribes their ancestors slaughtered? Have you forgotten our blood feud? A crown of the king can make you forget hatred? Are you still human? If you don't come, I will. A strong man roars. With these words, he really rushed to the direction where Longchen was. For a time, countless people were shocked. I'll come too. And then the second, the third, the fourth, 100 people, thousands of people, 10,000 people. Countless strong people gathered into a torrent and flew straight in the direction of Longchen. They roared to the sky. Terran brothers, don't be afraid. We are here to support you. Seeing the support from others, Yu Qingxian has a smile on her face. She looks at Longchen with water-like tenderness in her eyes and says, "The people you are waiting for are them." Looking at this group of people rushed, a smile appeared on Longchen's face, and his eyes were also touched. I'll just say that Terrans have always had hope. Longchen clenched his fist unconsciously, and his blood began to heat up gradually. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:18, Don't be afraid, brothers. We are here to support you. You are not fighting alone. More and more Terran strongmen rushed to Longchen's side. They were like a long gun, sticking to the edge of the border and directly piercing into the dark monster group. Puff, puff, puff. Among these people, there are a lot of the three supreme Tianjiao. They are all the best among the major forces. With their full efforts, those dark monsters were killed one after another. Soon close to this side of the border, it was cleared out of a large area of open space, those who support the strong, from this channel to kill. What are you doing? However, what they didn't expect was that they had just arrived and cleared out a safe place, where countless people rushed out. Originally, they thought that these people were coming to meet them, but before they were moved, they found that they had expressed their wrong feelings. These people didn't say hello to them at all, but passed by them by mistake. They came here, but these people fled here. Seeing this situation, the strong men who came to support were shocked and angry, and some people yelled at them, "Are you still human?" No sense of loyalty at all. But drinking and scolding can't stop them at all. Although they are scolded, they all bow their heads and rush out. Some people even cover their faces and don't let others recognize them. You know how to cover your face? You all have no face. What face are you going to cover? Some people yell at each other and want to kill people. Longchen protects them. At the critical moment, these people abandon Longchen, and they are here to support them. Seeing this scene, they are very angry, as if they were treated as fools. Don't worry about them. We just do what we want to do. A supreme heavenly pride. It is clear at a glance who is a warrior and who is a coward when compared with those who come to support and those who run away. Brother Longchen, we are here to support you. The first wave of strong, rushed into the team, began to help people defend. Someone came to Longchen in front of the road. Thank you for your kindness. Your coming is my biggest motivation. Longchen is a little excited. When people in the distance see Longchen excited, they think that Longchen feels at ease because someone helps him, and one by one they show the color of ridicule. Only Mingqi, Yu Qingxian, Tang Weiner and other people who are familiar with Longchen know that the reason why Longchen is excited is that these people are warm-blooded men. They are the mainstay of the human race, and let Longchen see the hope of the human race. Mingqi and others have happy smiles on their faces. They know that Longchen and others are them. They come to save Longchen, but they don't know that they save themselves. Tens of millions of strong people came to support, and the scene was immediately controlled. The strength of these strong people was good. There were more than 100 people in the three extreme supremacy, and the other strong people were not bad. Brother Longchen, you are good. Don't pay attention to those sprays. You are a real man. We all admire you. Someone was excited. Ha ha, you can sacrifice your life to save each other in this state, which shows that you are all hot-blooded men. When the Holy King meeting is over, Longchen will definitely get drunk with you. Longchen laughs and shows great pride. Haha, good. When these people heard this, they were overjoyed that they were able to stand up against the pressure, indicating that they were all brave men who regarded death as if they were home, and that they were all straightforward people. Go to the underworld and drink it. At this time, there was a sneer in the distance, with a loud voice. It was obvious that he was deliberately irritating. People are furious, but this man is too insidious. He hides in the crowd in the distance, not to mention that there are countless dark creatures between them now. Even among them, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack to find this man from hundreds of millions of strong people. Death, Longchen suddenly stopped drinking, just like thunder. His voice was straight into the crowd, and then he heard a man scream in horror. The man covered his ears, his orifices bleeding, his hands tightly covering his ears, as if he had been tortured. Poof, all of a sudden, his head broke and his scream stopped. Boom, the man's body fell to the ground and died. Idiot, do you really think I can't help you? You deliberately stir up trouble and speak maliciously. You have no ability except to stab people in the back. Terran, it is because there are so many idiots like you that they are bullied by other races and keep your lives. I just want to see how much hope Terran has. Now, the seeds of hope have appeared, and you are useless. Longchen finished and looked at Mengqi. Mengqi nodded, jade hands slowly raised, slender fingers slowly seal. Buzz, suddenly, a transparent ripple diffuses from Mengqi, followed by countless screams in the crowd. Ah! Hundreds of people, with their heads in their arms, were lying on the ground and rolling. Their cries were like killing pigs. Their whole bodies were shaking and their faces were full of panic. Soul refining through the air? How is that possible? Someone exclaimed. Those who are strong in soul cultivation can't help exclaiming. Soul cultivation has a strong ability of soul insight. It can easily find out a person's position through the resonance between a person's voice fluctuation and soul fluctuation. But there are so many strong people here, and their voices are noisy, and the speakers deliberately change their intonation and soul fluctuations, so it's too difficult to find out accurately. Even if someone can find it out, there is no way to launch an accurate soul attack at such a long distance, unless they have locked their souls while others are talking. But the soul lock, all have a feeling, the presence of people are strong, want the other party can't feel, unless their own soul power is more than 10,000 times higher than the other party. Boom! Suddenly someone couldn't help suffering from his soul and chose to explode himself. But his explosion came too suddenly, and many people around him were shocked by the terrible force of qi and blood. What a vicious woman! Stop it! Some people scold. Poof! As soon as the man finished scolding, his head rose up in the sky, and he didn't know what force had cut off his head. Those people were horrified that they could kill people from such a long distance. It was so terrible that they didn't even know who did it. Boom! At this time, the channel above the void roared, and the dark monster with golden lines appeared. Among these dark monsters, there are dark golden monsters. Seeing those dark golden monsters, Longchen's eyes narrowed slightly. Lord Breath! Guaran and others exclaimed. Summer morning, you know what to do. Longchen to Xiachen. Hee, I understand. Xiachen laughs and shakes his hand, flying out hundreds of Fuzhuan, which form a huge cage and compress rapidly. Its compressed space began to collapse, and finally formed a small ball, which suddenly disappeared. When it appeared again, it had already appeared in the demon territory. Boom! The ball exploded. At the moment of explosion, the strange smell was released instantly. At that moment, the face of the powerful demon changed. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:19 Small ball burst open and did not produce great power, but let countless demons for it. The Terran has a saying that it's impolite to come but not to go. You'd better taste being besieged. Xiachen laughs. With the power of the array, he compressed the nearby void, compressed the gas that had framed them before, and gave it back to the demons. These gases are very strange. They will stick in the void and can't be dispelled or cleared. But Xiachen can use the array to move them away. The powerful demons did not come first in their dreams. They were bound in a cocoon and retribution came back so soon. Roar, those dark monsters with golden stripes are attracted by the smell for a moment. Today's monsters are rushing to the demons like tides. Boom! The void trembles and the earth shakes. These monsters are like bloodthirsty demons, whistling and coming. The powerful demons are frightened and angry, and some people yell at them, "Terran, are you going to start a war?" In the face of such abuse, Long Chen is too lazy to respond. However, although Long Chen didn't speak, some of the strong Terrans who supported him scolded him, "You are a group of idiots. When you framed our Terrans, you started a war. It was you who started it. Can you speak through your head?" Puff, puff, puff. The powerful demons didn't even have the chance to scold back. The dark monsters had already been killed, and the powerful demons had to fight one after another. As a result, these dark monsters were too strong and there were so many of them that countless powerful demons were torn to pieces by their claws. In a moment, the demons fell into chaos. They roared and fought against the dark monsters, causing countless casualties. At the beginning, the disciples of Longchen were still laughing and excited. They were very happy to see the demons suffer their own consequences. But when they smile, they can't smile, and their faces are shocked, because these Diablo monsters are so terrible that they can't compare with the monsters they used to deal with before, and they are far from each other. Monsters with golden stripes are almost as powerful as the bipolar supremacy of the Terran, while the Diablo monsters with dark golden stripes are as powerful as the third-level Supreme Fairy King. Their claws and teeth can even crush the boundary artifact. Looking at these monsters, they could not help but be afraid. If Xia Chen had not led them away, it would have been them who faced these monsters. When the monsters were led away, the dragon dust side became a lot easier. Only a few monsters rushed here. Even the dragon blood soldiers didn't need to fight. The disciples of the War Temple and Xinghe sect rushed to kill them. They have never been in contact with such dark monsters and need to accumulate combat experience, so the Dragon Blood Legion gave them this opportunity. Now, it should be enough for the demons to drink a pot. Watching the Diablo massacre the demons, Guoran was so cool that he didn't want to. Long Chen shook his head and said, "Although there are many monsters, they can only hurt the skin of the demons. They can't move their muscles and bones, let alone be fatal." "No way." Hearing Long Chen's words, some of the strong supporters were shocked. Long Chen said, "Among the demons there are many powerful monsters. As long as one person makes a move, all these monsters will be destroyed. However, these people are hiding their strength, which shows that we are not the only ones who are not united, and self-sweeping in front of the door is not a unique behavior of the human race." Long Chen has a smile on his face. The evil roots are not only in the Terran, but also in the demons. They welcome these monsters like a pack of scattered sand. You can see that they are all making their own calculations. In this way, his mind is more balanced. The bad root is not unique to the human race. Each race has its own advantages and disadvantages. We can't just focus on one side and ignore the other. Can one destroy all? Some people look shocked, obviously they can't understand the power. "Can we have someone here?" Someone asked tentatively. Long Chen smiles and doesn't speak, but Guoran pats the man on the shoulder and says with a smile, "The boss is not the only one who can completely destroy these monsters." It was a big surprise, and all the support people were also surprised. Some people were shocked and said, "That means you were not in danger before?" Guoran said with a smile, "Aren't we waiting for you to save us?" When Guoran said this, countless people's faces changed. Long Chen and others are fully capable of dealing with these monsters. In this way, it's a joke for them to sacrifice their lives to save each other? We are so stupid. Someone said with a bitter smile. Hearing that person's words, Guoran immediately flustered. He didn't show the meaning, but he didn't know how to explain for a moment. Long Chen looked at the supporters and said, "It's not us or you that you save. It's the immortal fire in the hearts of the Terran. The Terrans should keep watch and help each other. They should be united. Only by uniting can the Terrans continue. Only when we warm ourselves together can we protect our relatives from harm, and we will not be too sad to lose the most important person. On the latter, I support the weak. Many people think that we are fools. When we are in danger, you risk your life to support us. Many people say that you are fools. But no matter who is stupid or who is stupid, the eternal fire in the soul of the human race needs us who are not smart to inherit it, right? Haha, yes, that's right. We are all fools. Ha ha ha. Long Chen said so. These people immediately laugh. Long Chen's words, said to their heart. Before the estrangement disappeared in a moment, to put it bluntly, they are the same kind of people. Long Chen's words, their blood has been ignited, as if to find a confidant in general. Seeing the excitement of the crowd, Guoran breathes a long sigh of relief. He admires Long Chen more and more. The strength of Long Chen's mouth is not inferior to his kung fu. The Terrans are deliberately provoking war and breaking the rules. Let's fight together. At this time, some of the demons yelled, leading hundreds of thousands of powerful demons to bypass the core area and go straight to the side of Long Chen. Some of the demons took the lead, which immediately caused a response. Countless powerful demons gathered together. Regardless of the life or death of other powerful demons, they bypassed the dark monster and flew to the devil. In an instant, tens of millions of demon elites were gathered. The strong ones of the demon clan had just set out, and there was also news from the monster clan. Kill Long Chen, kill this Terran swindler. Among the monsters, someone yelled and rushed out. Long Chen looks at these people and suddenly remembers that the powerful demon clan who takes the lead seems to be the clan he cheated. Prepare for it. The prelude to the war is finally about to open. This time, let Wanzhong get to know the human race again. Long Chen said with a smile. Dragon blood soldiers have been ready for battle. They have been waiting for a long time, and at this time, suddenly changed suddenly. Boom! When the powerful demons passed by, the earth suddenly burst open, and the sharp spears flew out, which submerged tens of millions of demons in an instant. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:20 Boom! The endless sharp wooden spear shoots out from the earth. Countless powerful demons are pierced by the wooden spear. It seems that there is poison on the wooden spear. Once pierced, these powerful demons suddenly become stiff. On top of the wooden spear, dozens of powerful demons are like string sugar gourds. If they are pierced by the wooden spear, they will die immediately. Hundreds of thousands of miles of land, forming a corpse forest. All of a sudden, those powerful demons did not expect someone to deal with them here. Countless strong people were killed instantly. Only a small number of strong people felt wrong for the first time, or fought back, or retreated, and were not killed. The undead? What do you mean? There are powerful demons roaring, because they find that the place they pass by is the territory of the undead. In the attack of the wooden thorn, there was a strong undead breath. You can see that it was the strong one of the undead. It doesn't mean much. It's just that I don't like you. I want to kill you. This is a cold and lonely voice. Then a woman in a black skirt and a woman in a green skirt appeared in front of the people. The speaker was the woman in the black skirt. When he saw the two women, Long Chen's heart jumped wildly. Green skirt woman, slender, graceful posture, long hair like a waterfall, beautiful eyes, like stars flashing, pure and smart. She is like a spirit from the primitive forest. With the purest breath of nature, people dare not blaspheme. Chu Yao, at last, Long Chen could not help shouting that she was no other than Princess Chu Yao of Fengming Empire. At this time, her temperament changed a lot, but her eyes remained unchanged. Chu Yao looks at Long Chen, and her eyes are full of excitement. Because the distance is too far away, she can only wave desperately. The black skirt woman beside Chu Yao, with a cold and arrogant face, Guoran and others watched for a long time. She can't be Lu Ruyan, how can her temperament change so much? Guaran and others hardly dare to recognize each other, and Long Chen himself is not sure. If she is not standing beside Chu Yao, Long Chen will not recognize her alone. She was wearing a black dress and a green crown on her head. The strong immortal spirit twined around her, forming a terrible position. Although she stood in the crowd, she had the taste of looking down on all living beings. And behind her, countless strong people bent down to keep a certain distance from her and Chu Yao, and seemed to be in awe of them. When did you undead and Terran wear the same pants? There are demons. The strong are furious. Death, with a cold drink from Lu Ruyan, her jade hand stretched out and her slender fingers suddenly closed. Suddenly, the strong demon's face changed greatly. Boom! He made a reaction at the first time, his weapon in his hand slashed at his back, and at the same time, the whole person sped forward. Puff, puff, puff. The emptiness around him, endless willow branches flying out like strange snakes, from all directions, up, down, left, right, front and back, rushed in all directions, the tough body of the demon strongman, in front of the willow branches, just like paper, was instantly pierced. Ah! The powerful one of the demons screamed in horror. Thousands of willows came into his body. He was frantically struggling. 3 kinds of runes were surging, which belonged to the triple supreme breath. People exclaimed that this man was a trio, but he couldn't stop the woman's move. Suddenly, the demon strongman stopped struggling, and the cry of panic disappeared. His body shriveled in an instant, and all his blood essence was evacuated. Bada! The willow leaves from the body of the powerful demon, and the body falls from the air, and then falls apart like a statue. The attack was so sudden, so strange and so terrible that even the 3 most powerful were killed in an instant, and they didn't even have the power to fight back. Before his death, the demon strongman cut back with weapons and fled forward. This shows that he felt the danger came from the rear when he took the hand. But he was wrong. Lu Ruyan's attack came from all directions. That is to say, Lu Ruyan cheated his perception. Lu Ruyan's means made countless people scared. Lu Ruyan slowly took back his jade hand, his face was cold, and he said in a cold voice, "This guy Long Chen is very annoying, but you can't kill him. Whoever wants to kill him, I will kill him." Lu Ruyan's words, indifference, arrogance, domineering exposed, carrying her easy to kill the supremacy of the 3 poles, let countless people feel frightened. What an arrogant undead! Are you going to declare war on the great demons? The strong one of the demons cheered coldly. There is a powerful winged devil standing up, which is also a trio supreme, but his wings are golden, his eyes open and close, it seems that there is lightning flow, this is a very terrible existence. My undead people are not arrogant for a day or 2. If you say to declare war, declare war. I put it here. Whoever kills Long Chen, I will kill him. Lu Ruyan responded coldly. Lu Ruyan's performance is extremely strong and overbearing, leaving no room for the other side. However, the name of the undead is really frightening, and no one wants to offend them. The undead people are famous for their bravery. They are not only powerful but also have an undead body. It's hard to be killed. No race wants to provoke them. It seems that the undead Willow clan can't replace the whole undead clan. Lu Ruyan, do you think highly of yourself? At this time, a different voice came from the undead. In the face of that voice, other people were shocked, but Lu Ruyan seemed not surprised at all. He didn't even look at the man, and coldly responded, "I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm a royal family. I'm the overlord of undead demon forest. And you magic eye water lilies are just a group of shameless dogs. I can't represent the undead. Can you?" Hula, all of a sudden, there was a commotion among the undead, and a group of people came out, and others avoided. This group of people, male and female, has millions of people, their breath is strong, moving, one by one looks bad, and their eyes are full of provocation. Does the king and marquis have seed? Times are changing. Feng Shui is changing in turn. Some people have no virtue and are incompetent. It's time to give up their position. Looking at the woman wearing a colorful hairpin, she came out with a smile. Even if I want to make way, I'm afraid it's not your turn to the magic eye water lilies. Even if you give monkeys gorgeous dragon robes, monkeys are monkeys after all. There's no royal spirit. Lu Ruyan sneered. Listen to tone, two people are old enemies, and know each other very well, now the tip of the needle on the wheat. Haha, what's the use of sharp teeth and sharp mouth? Don't you want to protect Longchen? Then I, the magic eye water lilies, would like to cut off Longchen's head for you to see. When the woman finished speaking, suddenly millions of magic-eyed water lilies disappeared. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:21 Millions of magic-eyed water lilies disappeared at the same time, and everyone was shocked. Boom! There was a startling explosion, and the void exploded. A willow tree opened the sky, and willow branches filled the sky, breaking through the void. When the void collapses in a large area, countless powerful people of the magic eye water lily family appear, and their blink is forcibly interrupted. The willow branches spread all over the sky, swaying in the wind, and the road trembled like a waterfall, sliding down the willow branches. In front of the sky-covered willow tree, Lu Ruyan, dressed in black, appears. She coldly looks at the strong members of the magic-eyed water lilies family. Lotus has no shadow. I know that you have been unconvinced with me, and that you, the magic-eyed water lilies, have been ready to move. You want to find a chance to compete with me. Why don't we just make it a little easier and stop making those boring little moves? Let's fight with each other to see who is the real king of the undead. Lu Ruyan sighed. Chu Yao slowly appear. At the same time, the strong of the undead Ming Lu family also stand out one after another. Although their number is not many, only a few 100,000, even less than 1/10 of the magic eye water lily family, they have no fear, even a little nervous. Well, let's see who is the real king of the undead. Facing the challenge of Lotus Shadowless, Lu Ruyan's face is as calm as water, and seems not to be moved at all. Ah, that's good. Let's see who is the real king of the undead. Depending on the family background left by your ancestors, do you think you undead Ming Lu people can be arrogant all your life? Lotus Shadowless sneer. All of a sudden, she said in a loud voice, from today on, my magic eye water lilies and the undead willows are at odds. As the saying goes, there is no 2 days for the people. You must make a choice today. My magic eye water lily has accumulated power for hundreds of millions of years. I work hard in secret to regain my dignity and fight for the failure of that year. We have accumulated endless strength. What you see now is just the tip of the iceberg. On the other hand, the undead Ming Lu people have already lost their former glory, but they are still immersed in history. Do they think that if they wear a crown, they will always be the king of the undead? How do you choose? I, the magic-eyed water lilies, do not accept neutrality. Those who follow me will prosper, and those who oppose me will die. Your choice will determine your life and death. The voice of Lotus without shadow surged in the void, and the heaven and earth were silent. The spirit of killing even covered the roar of those dark creatures. No one thought that the undead, who made countless people feel scared, should split up. It seems that they are going to fight to the death. In addition to the demons were besieged by endless Diablo monsters, the other clans all looked at them in shock and did not understand what had happened. Well, there's a lot to see. Some people laugh. It's none of their business. People who watch the excitement are never afraid of the excitement. Hula! With the sound of Lotus Shadowless surging, countless undead strong people are flocking to them. Compared with other races, the number of the undead is often tens of billions, which is much smaller, but there are nearly 100 million strong. To everyone's surprise, about 70% of the hundreds of millions of undead people have turned to the magic eye water lily. What's most shocking is that these people have no hesitation in taking refuge in the magic eye water lilies. Their actions are clean and neat, and they don't mean to drag their feet. It seems that they have taken refuge in the magic eye water lilies for a long time. Countless people look at Lu Ruyan, but Lu Ruyan is calm, not the slightest anger, not a trace of panic, as if everything is expected. In the face of the threat and oppression of Lotus Shadowless, She has no expression and seems to disdain to respond and fight back. Ah, see? You don't belong to the Ming Lu clan. They are unpopular. They have already betrayed their relatives and their fate is doomed. Lian Wang looks up at the sky and laughs. More than 70% of the undead strong are on the side of the magic eye water lilies, while the undead willows are only 25% strong. The strength of the two sides seems to be quite different. It's really stupid. Does the king of the undead depend on people's heart? You forget that when the undead Ming Lu clan fought for the throne, they used the corpses of hundreds of millions of strong people to pave the way, killing the sky and the earth, and the blood flowed into a river. Our throne didn't need anyone's approval. At that time, you were only qualified to crawl under our feet and pray for our protection. Lu Ruyan sneered. Joke, the times have changed, you are still immersed in the glory of the past, your spring and autumn dream should wake up. The Terran has a saying that feng shui turns and rivers and mountains sit in turn. The glory of your undead Ming Lu clan has passed. With so many people and so many big words, do you want the strong in 9 days and 10 places to laugh off their teeth? Lotus No Shadow disdains tunnel. So many people? Are you blind? I can't see the dragon dust. Are there so many people? A strange expression appeared on Lu Ruyan's face. What do you mean? Lotus Shadowless Cold Tunnel. Long Chen and others were stunned, and others were also stunned. Lu Ru said, that guy is disgusting, but if you dare to do it, he will definitely kill you. He alone is enough to resist thousands of troops, not to mention the invincible Dragon Blood Army. How dare you say such a person? Damn, Long Chen almost fell to the ground. This guy said that she would kill anyone who killed him, which made Long Chen feel warm and moved to Lu Ruyan for the first time. The slogan of love is for fun. Now she even asks him for help. Moreover, this guy is really accurate. As long as these guys dare to fight, he will fight at the first time, because Chu Yao is there. Who dares to touch his woman? How can he not fight hard? When did this guy learn to be so insidious? Haha, the immortal Ming Lu clan would ask the humble people for help? You've lost all of your immortality. Lotus Shadowless laugh. Long Chen, she said you are humble, you don't beat her? Lu Ruyan doesn't pay attention to Lianuya, but looks at Long Chen. Humble is not humble, it doesn't matter. As long as she dares to do it, it'll help you screw off her head. Whoever dares to touch Chu Yao's hair, it'll let her die forever. Long Chen replied in a loud voice. Heard Wutong's response brim over with tears, and tears almost burst into her eyes. She seemed to be back to Feng Ming Empire, and thought of the poem once. For seas in Longyu, 10,000 miles away, phoenix from the phoenix tree with Jojo. Life and death do not abandon Blood Sea Road, and dragon and phoenix depend on each other to the white head. Long Chen was once the hot-blooded boy, or the fool who was willing to protect her to the end of time, and the reckless man who was willing to work hard for her at any time. Chu Yao almost cried. Well, let's try humble people. What's your skill? Lotus No Shadow cold hum hand a wave, behind her countless undead strong, cold drink kill to Lu Ruyan and others. And in the moment of their hand, the dragon dust also moved. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4222, Long Chen, Don't Move. Suddenly Mengqi opens her mouth, and Long Chen is surprised. Mengqi stops him. Long Chen looks at Mengqi with some doubts. Mengqi smile, some angry way. Fool, this kind of small things, or to us, you keep the strength to win the pearl of luck, believe our strength, can deal with these. This. Long Chen is a little worried for fear of their accidents. He doesn't care about the beat of Qi Yun, but if they have any mistakes, Long Chen will be crazy. Do you look down on us? Tang Weiner said angrily. Don't dare, Long Chen is in a hurry. He knows Tang Weiner's temper. If Long Chen dares to doubt her, she may go straight away. Mengqi smiles and looks at Yu Zhiqiu, Yu Qingxian, Tang Weiner, Dong Minjiu and other humanitarians. It's time for us to show them after so long hard work. After listening to Menqi's words, all the girls smile on their faces. Suddenly, Xiaoyun screams and a shadow appears. Mengqi, Zhiqiu, Yu Qingxian, Tang Weiner, Dong Minjiu and others all flew on Xiaoyun's back. Xiaoyun's wings trembled. Boom! The void is shattered in a large area, and the small cloud is like a meteor flying away. The sharp sound burst resounds through 9 days. At that moment, she seems to have broken through the shackles of space. As soon as she moved, she went to the camp of the undead and went straight to the magic eye water lilies. Xiao Yun's speed is too fast, hundreds of millions of miles away, said to cross. The huge body is like a mountain. Looking for death, seeing Xiao Yun rush in, the powerful of the magic-eyed water lily clan are furious and roaring in the void, showing their noumenon one by one, and the huge lotus leaves cover the sky, which is awe-inspiring. The lotus leaves are like a huge net, blocking Xiaoyun's flying route. The runes on the lotus leaves are flowing, and the magic is powerful. The lotus leaves are overlapped. This soft power can break the masculine power. Suddenly, the cloud blocked the big black lotus eyes. Puff, puff, puff. The black divine light, like the sharp blade of the god of heaven, penetrates the endless lotus leaves in an instant. The powerful defense of the magic eye water lily clan cannot stop Xiaoyun. It's Xiaoyun's original magic power. A black divine light breaks through the lotus leaf defense and passes through the army of the undead. The bodies of countless creatures are broken down or even shattered. The most terrible thing is that Xiao Yun's strike, lasting, passed through the team and hit hard on the boundary of the challenge arena. Boom! There was a big bang. The border trembled suddenly, and the black Shenhui burst into pieces and scattered in the world. This strike was a shock to countless people. The magic power of Magic Eye Water Lily was defeated. Boom! There was another explosion. Xiaoyun's body hit the lotus leaf array, and the array was hit with a hole. Xiaoyun took this hole as a breakthrough and hit it hard. Countless strong members of the Magic Eye Water Lily family collapse and fly out. In the endless dance of leaves and flowers, Xiaoyun breaks through their defense in the simplest and most violent way. Xiaoyun sends out a bird song. Suddenly his wings tremble and the colorful divine radiance surges. He turns straight and goes up. Boom! In front of Xiaoyun, a long sword falls, like Xinghe is cut down, forming a field of death. It's Lion Wang. Her strike was just right. It was impeccable, but she didn't expect that Xiaoyun's huge body would be so flexible. She changed the direction in an instant, which led to the failure of her sword. Click. A sword didn't cut Xiaoyun, but it was cut on the challenge arena. The challenge arena cracked and was cut by the sword. Buzz, just then, 9 days later, Xiaoyun's body made a sharp turn, and in the colorful light, he completed a beautiful turn, and Xiaoyun's big mouth opened again. At that moment, Lian Wuing's face changed. Get out of the way. Boom! A black ball of light, like a shooting star, burst out. The challenge arena burst out. In the sound of rolling air, the strong men on the side of Magic Eye Water Lily fled in a panic. Just as they were in a dilemma, Xiaoyun's figure, like a flash of lightning, broke through their blockade and came to Lu Ruyan and Chu Yao. Xiaoyun has spare time to finish a gorgeous roll in the air, seems to be challenging the Magic Eye Water Lily family, and then slowly fall. Sister Mingqi, when Xiaoyun puts away his body and turns into a beautiful girl, Chu Yao yells excitedly and runs to Mingqi and others. The girls hold together and they get together again as if they were separated from each other. Good sister, today is the day for our sisters to get together. We should be happy. We don't cry. Mingqi advised, but she also choked. Tang Weiner cried the most. When she first flew to the fairyland, Tianwu land burst into pieces, and everyone disappeared. At that time, they didn't know whether other people were still alive or whether they would meet in their life. What they fear most is that everyone has disappeared, but they are still alive. Now when the sisters meet, their emotions can no longer be controlled. Before in front of Longshan, they still try to keep control. Now Longshan is not beside, their tears, like a burst of flood, can no longer control. Even Yi Zhiqiu, who has always been cold, can't stop crying. Every tear falls down and forms ice crystals. Yu Qingxian didn't know what had happened between them, but she felt their sincere feelings and wept silently. Among the people, only Lu Ruyan didn't shed tears. She just looked at the people quietly and didn't say a word. This is not the time to cry. We have to help Ruyan deal with these guys. Mengqi choked and tried to calm down. Yes, let's kill these guys together. After Tang Weiner cried, the whole person seemed to be much better. When it comes to fighting, she was full of spirit. I don't need your help to deal with these guys. In fact, my sister and I should join hands. The reason why I ask for help from this guy is to try this guy. Willow is like a flu. Do you want to try him? Is it the Pearl of Qi, or Sister Chuyao? Mingqi said with a smile. Lu Ruyan nodded. You silly girl, don't you know the character of Long Qin? For the sake of you and Chuyo's sister, he doesn't even want to die. What beads will he care about? Mingqi said with a smile. What does it have to do with me? Lu Ruyan couldn't help saying. Mingqi smiles and looks at Lu Ruyan, who doesn't speak. Lu Ruyan is gradually overwhelmed and her face turns red. They. All of a sudden, Xiao Yun exclaimed, pointing to the strong man in the magic eye water lily, and a look of horror appeared on his face. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-23. Xiao Yun was shocked to find that she had killed many people just now, but these people appeared again, and the number did not decrease. It's no surprise that the undead have strong vitality, almost no fatal weakness, and they are immortal if they don't exhaust their life energy. Chu Yao explained. This is also the most terrible place for the undead. They have tenacious vitality and super strong self-healing ability. If you want to kill them, you need to consume their vitality in an instant. But their vitality is too terrible, self-recovery ability is also extremely abnormal. Because of this, they are known as the undead. Even if there are 10 strong men of the same level, they may not be able to defeat an undead strong man. But if there are 100 strong men of the same level, they may not be able to kill them. If they can't beat them, they can easily escape and kill an undead strong man. It's just as difficult as heaven. This is also the reason why not many of the 10,000 people are willing to provoke the undead, because they are too difficult to deal with. Xiao Yun is very confident in his own magic power. Seeing the pieces of strong people torn apart, he thinks they are all dead. Unexpectedly, they are still alive, and they don't seem to be hurt, which surprised her. Our undead people fight for a long time, fighting for endurance rather than explosive power. In fact, the war of the undead is far less dangerous than that of your people. They can tell life and death in an instant. And once the situation is bad, you don't have to look at their domineering now, then you will see what is a lost dog. Lu Ruyan explained. The strong vitality of the undead people determines that the fighting between them is not very dangerous. And once they find something bad, they can withdraw from the battlefield at any time. Therefore, the undead are not afraid of war. Although Xiao Yun broke through their blockade and showed amazing combat effectiveness, they were not afraid. Their strong vitality was enough to kill any race except the undead. Because of the vitality of the undead and the long fighting time, we can't let Long Qin do it. Such a battle will consume the precious physical strength of Long Qin. This Holy King's meeting is full of doubts and dangers. We should prepare for the worst and keep our strength to the end. Mengqi said. The women nodded. This Holy King's meeting is so weird that no one can figure out its way. It is the safest way to keep the strength of Long Qin. Sorry, I didn't think that much. Lu Ruyan was a little ashamed. Mengqi said with a smile, they are all my sisters. Isn't that a strange sentence? You stand out for Long Qin. Naturally, Long Qin won't look at you being besieged and ignore you. The result is the same. Why care about the process? After listening to Mengqi's words, Lu Ruyan felt much more comfortable. Originally, she asked Long Qin for help and pulled him in to test him. But now it seems that her idea is too naive, but as the new king of the undead Ming Lu clan, she has thousands of auras in one. It's too difficult for her to apologize. But Lu Ruyan finally apologized, and Mengqi didn't blame her at all. What's more, no matter whether she asked for help or not, Long Qin would do it. She didn't make any mistakes and didn't need to apologize. Mingqi always took care of everyone. Bang! Suddenly the void burst open, and the huge channel in the center of the challenge arena collapsed in an instant. Originally, the dark monsters came down orderly. But now the passage collapses, just like the river burst its dike, and the Diablo rushes down with a scale of thousands of times. Roar! The roar of the Diablo made the void turbulent. Endless Diablo came in all directions like the tide. Did the smell fail? When he saw that the Diablo no longer attacked the demons, but attacked everywhere, Guoran was disappointed. It should be over time. The smell can't stay in the same place all the time. After a certain period of time, it will spread in an all-round way. Summer morning road. Ready to fight. Guoran exclaimed. The army of dark monsters came, and the indiscriminate attack interrupted the idea that the creatures wanted to attack Longchen. All of them, including the undead, retreated to their own positions. Roar! There are too many Diablo monsters. They are endless. They are so overlapping and dense that you can see them. The dark monsters form a wave of thousands of miles. Because there are too many of them, they can't control their own bodies, so they can't even control their own bodies. The strong outside, watching the huge challenge arena, are about to be filled with horrible dark monsters. The crowd is about to be submerged. They all pinch a cold sweat. Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother can't help but stand up, which shows that they are extremely nervous. After all, their children are inside. As a mother, it's impossible not to worry. The same is true for other ethnic groups. Originally, the number of living creatures of each ethnic group was amazing enough, exceeding 10 billion. But compared with these dark creatures, they are just a drop in the ocean, and there is a big difference in the number. The people outside are nervous, but the people inside are even more nervous, especially the weaker ones who follow Long Chen to the challenge arena. Looking at the endless ferocious faces, they look pale and shiver. Even those who support Long Chen are powerful, but in the face of such a large number of dark monsters, they feel fear in their hearts, their faces change, the sweat in their palms begins to appear slowly, and their forehead is gradually wet. When they looked at the dragon blood soldiers in front of them, they found that the dragon blood soldiers were calm, without a trace of fear or even a trace of tension. And this kind of expression does not appear on the face of a dragon blood soldier, but more than 2,000 dragon blood soldiers, all of them. At that moment, they felt awe-inspiring. If these people are not idiots, they are real experts. They can't pretend this kind of emotion. Boom! At this time, the endless dark monster finally rolled in front of the crowd. At that moment, all they could see were endless ferocious faces, sharp teeth and claws. Brothers, let's move. The warm-up starts. After the warm-up, it should be a real war. Long Chen smiles a little, and his big hand touches the Ming Hong Dao behind him. Choking, Ming Hong's sword came out of its sheath, and a shadow of the sword cut away. Puff, puff, puff. A knife horizontal cut, the void was cut, a gap, endless dark monster, was cut into two. When Long Chen takes the shot, he doesn't notice that the golden lotus seed in the chaotic space suddenly lights up and blooms with unprecedented brilliance. With the help of Long Chen, Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan, Yu Zifeng and all the dragon blood soldiers all moved. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4224, Puff, Puff, Puff. Long Chen's Ming Hong sword is chopped, and those horrible dark creatures like tofu are chopped into powder. Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan and Yu Zifeng all shot. Gu Yang's long gun roared and broke the sky with one blow. The world trembled with the imperishable power of immortal soldiers. Gu Yang's shot attracted everyone's attention. The strong men in Long Chen's camp were shocked. Gu Yang was so fierce that he shot through the void, killed endless dark monsters, and robbed Long Chen of the limelight. Gu Yang fought with this immortal spear for the first time. One shot per person complemented each other. He felt that it was too late to meet each other. Gu Yang roared excitedly and killed to his heart's content. In this way, he celebrated their integration. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan are not as eye-catching as Gu Yang. They guard on both sides. They hold long sticks and the wind blows. All the dark monsters hit by long sticks are smashed. These monsters, however, did not burst out. Instead, they turned into a piece of dust, scattered under their feet, and instantly formed a mound. The picture was extremely strange. The power of thick earth is the reincarnation of Earth Spirit. All of a sudden, Li Qi stopped drinking. The mound under their feet trembled, gradually compressed and twisted. A giant earth appeared. The earth giant is hundreds of miles high and covered with runes. When his eyes open, there is a bright light in his eyes. At that moment, it seems to be endowed with life. Roar! The clay giant roared and smashed with one blow. Countless dark monsters flew in response, and many monsters were directly smashed. The smashed monster, once again, becomes the earth, scattered in the world. The earth giant has infinite power, and even has a strong fluctuation of life and blood. Its combat power is amazing. As soon as it joined the battlefield, it killed countless Diablo monsters. The power of thick earth is the reincarnation of Earth Spirit. Li Qigong has just summoned a giant of earth. Song Mingyuan stops drinking with his voice. As his voice falls, another giant of earth stands up. With more and more Diablo monsters killed by the two men and the earth giant, the earth on the earth is endless, and then one earth giant after another comes together. In the blink of an eye, there are more than a dozen earth giants. With more and more earth giants, the killing efficiency becomes higher and higher, and the team is still growing. At that moment, people who saw this scene were shocked. What kind of magic power is this? Why have you never heard of it? Turn the flesh and blood of the enemy into clay, and then use the clay to make a puppet. In addition to the powerful power of thick earth, this puppet also has the powerful power of life and blood. Even the supreme heavenly pride may not be their opponent. Puff, puff, puff. In the endless sea of monsters, there are two elegant figures, which are Yu Zifeng and Mu Qingyun. The moment Yu Zifeng waves his hand, there will be tens of thousands of miles long cracks in the void, and the monsters covered by this crack are all broken in two. It's like having an invisible blade to cut off their bodies. Their bodies fall like raindrops. Every time after Yu Zifeng waved his hand, Mu Qingyun's long sword came out of its sheath, and his sword was strong. Many Diablo monsters were killed. Mu Qingyun's attack is also extremely sharp. Looking at it alone, it's very amazing. However, compared with the power of Yu Zifeng's move, it's a little bit more powerful. Come again, Yu Zifeng said coldly, and then he waved his big hand, and then the void split, and endless monsters were killed. He had drawn his sword outside the challenge arena. There was an exclamation, a look of disbelief. His exclamation also made countless faces look stunned. Why didn't they see it? Until Yu Zifeng waved for the third time, people finally caught a trace of drawing a sword. At that moment, everyone was stupid. Many of these strong men are born gods who have experienced many battles. With their cultivation, it takes 3 times to capture Yu Zifeng's movement in the same movement. If Yu Zifeng didn't even respond to the enemy's head, people say that Jian Xiu's lethality is the most terrible, but no one thought that it would be so terrible. Jian Xiu, many people have seen and admit that they are powerful, but Yu Zifeng's speed can't be said to be powerful, it can only be said to be a monster. Countless strong people are still unconvinced. They think that some people are mystifying and alarmist, because they can't see Yu Zifeng drawing his sword, let alone the process of returning his sword to the sheath. It's fair to say that Yu Zifeng used his finger as a sword to attack the enemy. After all, they have never seen or heard of such a master. But they are all masters and they are not blind. They can't even see the sword. What's the difference between them and idiots? Puff, puff, puff. 99% of the strong can only see the moment when Yu Zifeng waves his hand, and then see the void split and countless dark monsters killed. After Yu Zifeng's attack, Mu Qingyun around him also cuts out with one sword. Obviously, Yu Zifeng is teaching her the essence of kendo. However, Yu Zifeng had few words. When he taught Mu Qingyun, he spared no words. Most of the time, he was only responsible for demonstration. Whether he could understand it or not depends on Mu Qingyun's savvy. Mu Qingyun looks serious and studies hard. She feels every sword with her heart. Unlike others, what she sees is not Yu Zifeng's drawing and returning the sword, but the change of the sword. Yu Zifeng takes this place as a testing ground to teach Mu Qingyun, but he scares countless strong people inside and outside the challenge arena. Before, they all stood behind Longchen. Although some people thought that they were powerful, they didn't expect that they were so powerful. Gu Yang's one shot shocked the sky, and even the most powerful in nature were moved by it. Li Qi and Song Minjiwan's technique of reincarnation shocked countless people's jaws, and they felt that they were horrible monsters. And Yu Zifeng taught Mu Qingyun Kendo. At that moment, all the strong people who saw this scene, no matter which force or race, were scared, including those who were born with heaven. They had never seen such a terrible Jianxiu. He shot so fast and attacked so sharp that they had no time to escape. Even if he was close to him, there was only one way to die. This boy is so strong. I can't believe that. Even the Lord of the Temple, who had been watching the battle coldly and without saying a word, could not help sighing. And the White Exhibition Hall and others are also stunned. They did not expect Long Chen's men. Unexpectedly, each one is so terrible. Dragon Blood Legion, it's really amazing. The Lord said to himself. Not good. Suddenly, Bai Shaole's mother's face changes. In her pupils, 3 flowers flow and stare at Long Chen in the battlefield. Dozens of bright figures are reflected in her pupils. Night Killer, she recognized the identities of those creatures. These people were quietly approaching Longchen, but Longchen didn't feel it. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4225, Night Killer. By Zhan Tong and others were surprised. The Night Killers are the elites of the Night Clan. They are born assassins with terrible lethality and hiding ability. Although Terrans also have killers, their basic talents are far behind them. The strong members of the Night Clan kill people invisibly. They are famous and infamous because they do everything for money. Even as long as the price is high, they can help assassinate the target to kill the buyer, which is typical of recognizing money but not people. Night killers can be divided into strong and weak. Mainstream killers are all night aristocrats with pure blood. Their blood and talent are amazing. In such a complex war, they not only need to hide their breath, but also avoid the dark monsters that can't get in. They can't even be seen by Zhan Tong and others, which proves that their strength is extremely frightening. Bai Shaole's mother, because she has 3 pupils of flowers and has been absorbed in it all the time, can judge from the clues that they are not right. She uses her own magic power to move her 2 pupils, and then she sees their vague figure. On the side of Lingshao Academy, only Bai Shaole's mother saw it. No one else could see anything. However, they all knew Bai Shaole's mother's magic power, and each of them looked shocked. Yu and Xiaole, mother and son, try to remind him through pupil surgery. The mother's way of Bai Shi. It's no use. The border of the challenge arena cuts off everything. Even our 3 pupils are useless. Bai Shaole's mother has a dignified face. Then what? We have to find a way to remind them. In such a chaotic battlefield, it's easy to be attacked by stealth. Bai Zhan Tong was also worried. Night killers are not for fun. There are many older generation who are more powerful than them. They have to drink their hatred in their hands. If Long Chen and others don't pay attention, they will lose their lives. Can you tell Long Chen to be careful by attacking the big formation? After all, Long Chen is so smart that he should know we are reminding him. Another deputy hall master suggested. No need, the Lord of the Temple, who had been silent, spoke. Hearing what the Lord of the Temple said, everyone was relieved. The Lord of the Temple was so skillful that he said it was unnecessary. It should be that it was really unnecessary. On the challenge arena, Long Chen holds Minghong's sword and cuts it down. The shadow of the sword surges and cuts the sky. Those horrible dark monsters are killed one after another. Today's Ming Hong Dao is incomparable in its sharpness and breadth. Its breath is expanding wildly. When the dragon dust kills, it will enter another state of practice. Whether it's dragon dust killing creatures, or cutting off magic soldiers, it will gain strange power. It is using this power to constantly strengthen itself and seek breakthroughs. Now it sounds like a sword to the sky, runes are surging, and breath is releasing madly, just like a practitioner on the bottleneck. Longchen knows that it is looking for a breakthrough. Longchen concentrates all his heart and soul on it. He will give it whatever Longchen wants. Longchen knows that Ming Hong Dao is only one step away from immortal magic weapon. However, Ming Hong Dao has broken through many times and ended in failure. In the forbidden area of life, Longchen killed countless Diablo monsters, but it reached the critical point several times, and finally was unable to break through and was beaten back to its original shape. Now, in the face of endless dark monsters, it starts to break through again. Even if it fails countless times, it is still not discouraged. Buzz! More and more runes light up on the Minghong sword. Longchen can't help but be overjoyed because the runes that could not be ignited before the Minghong sword were finally ignited. Today's Minghong Dao is full of breath. It sounds like an immortal weapon. Although there is no complete breakthrough, but in terms of human cultivation, it has half-stepped into the field of immortal divine soldiers. In the words of practitioners, it is half-immortal, that is to say, a quasi-immortal magic weapon, which is just a little short of the real immortal magic weapon. Just when Long Chen is immersed in ecstasy, suddenly there is a strange wave on Ming Hong Dao. Long Chen can't help looking in one direction. And when Long Chen looked in that direction, Yu Zifeng in the distance also had an induction and looked at a place in the void. They felt it at the same time. Outside the challenge arena, Bai Shaole's mother, who has been worried about Longchen, exclaimed. When the strong people of the Dark Knight clan approached a certain range of Longchen, they were immediately perceived. Bai Shaole's mother is both surprised and happy. It seems that her worry is totally unnecessary. However, what shocked her most is that Yu Zifeng in the distance also sensed it. You know, the strong man of the Dark Knight clan, however, went to Longchen, far away from Yu Zifeng, but still couldn't escape the feeling of Yu Zifeng. The feeling of Jianxiu is really amazing. No wonder Jianxiu is the killer of all killers. Bai Shaole's mother couldn't help sighing. Jianxiu is a mysterious existence. It's terrible, even far beyond people's imagination. In the challenge arena, Yu Zifeng looks at Long Chen. Long Chen smiles at Yu Zifeng. Then Yu Zifeng turns his head, as if nothing has happened, and continues to teach Mu Qingyun swordsmanship. Long Chen continued to kill those dark monsters, as if he didn't see the man. However, when Long Chen and Yu Zifeng looked at him, they also had a reaction. He retreated for the first time. At the moment of his withdrawal, dozens of figures around him retreated at the same time. At that moment, a touch of irony appeared in the corner of Long Chen's mouth. The reason why he felt them was not because of his spiritual sense, but because of the Minghong sword in his hand. At this time, Long Chen's mind was focused on Minghong Dao, and he was just like a blind man. However, he can perceive the world through Minghong Dao, and the perception of Minghong Dao is not mixed with any emotion, which is clearer than that of Long Chen. Long Chen's own spiritual sense can only sense what is good for him and what is bad for him. The talent of the Dark Knight clan is to deceive others' perception. Even if Long Chen has 9-star body Ju, his perception will be greatly reduced in front of the Dark Knight clan. But with a knife as a mirror, you can see clearly. The Knight clan can deceive Long Chen's perception, but not Minghong's exploration. It's not that the detection of weapons is more accurate, but the angle from which they are located makes it easier to see things that are ignored. When the first Night Killer is captured, dozens of mysterious figures suddenly appear in Long Chen's mind. Long Chen knows everything about them. So when the first Night Killer quits, other killers also quit. At that moment, Long Chen knows that the first person is testing Long Chen's perception range, and then Long Chen knows what they are going to do. Long Chen just cut out a knife and killed a large area of the dark monster in front of him. He suddenly changed and a long sword stabbed him in the back of his heart. Since you want to die, I'll help you. Boom. With a bang, the Ming Hong sword in Long Chen's hand suddenly blooms out 1,000 li light, like the scorching sun in the sky, and the immortal breath radiates the world. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-26. The long sword appeared from behind Longchen, but Longchen's knife cut to the right front. Bang! The void is broken down, and in the broken avenue rune, the blood light breaks, and a figure flashes away. Want to escape? Next life the dragon dust is cold. The killers of the Shadow Clan are really powerful. The attack behind Longchen is just the Shadow's separation. It's to confuse Longchen's senses. After Longchen sees through it, he immediately retreats. However, he did not completely avoid the attack of Longchen. Half of his body was broken, and he ran away immediately in the blood fog. At the moment of his escape, behind the dragon dust, the wings of Kuanping spread, the figure flickered, and the person disappeared. And at the moment when the dragon dust disappears, a bloody figure emerges, and the long sword in his hand cuts fiercely. Boom! With a bang, the long sword cuts on the Minghong sword, and the figure of Longchen appears. At this time, the killers of the Night Clan can't hide their figure, they can only fight desperately. Chasm, the long sword of the strong man of the Dark Night Clan, was cut off by Minghong sword. Minghong sword was still powerful, and it split the strong man in two. People a burst of exclamation, a Night Clan killer, so died in the hands of Longchen, even the chance to escape. You know, everyone knows the name of the Night Killer. When Longchen was assassinated, countless people thought that Longchen would fall, because the Night Killer was so terrible. However, when the Night Killer appeared, he was beheaded by Longchen before he showed his proper skill of killing, which made people dumbfounded. Longchen killed the Night Killer with one knife, which shocked the whole audience, because after the death of the man, 3 kinds of divine brilliance scattered in the void, that is to say, the killer was a third-class supreme. Who, when Longchen killed the enemy with a knife, his body suddenly trembled and rushed to Jiutian like a meteor. Just as Longchen left his place, 8 long swords pointed to his original position at the same time. The 8 swords, silent, point to Longchen from 8 different angles. If Longchen retreats a little later, he will be pierced 8 holes. Suddenly, the ball went up faster than a dragon in the sky. This kind of turning body method is against the common sense of practice. The strength of the body is amazing when it turns so suddenly. The faster the speed is, the greater the pressure will be. Even if it is the supreme, it will crush itself. Longchen didn't give others too much shock time. He took a turning point and rushed down. Originally, 8 people attacked him at the same time, but now he attacked 8 people at the same time. The first move to open the sky, Longchen's one knife cutting down, seems to be intentional, but also unintentional. This knife is made by nature, seems to have a move, but also seems to be a random chop. There was a big bang and a knife of 10,000 Liu came out with the cutting down of Minghong knife, which covered all the 8 night killers in an instant. Everything comes too fast. Even the killers of the Night Clan have never encountered such an attack. They only have time to block instinctively. With one knife, the huge crescent moon will cut off the endless dark monsters in the challenge arena, and the 8 strong members of the Dark Night Clan will disappear in an instant. Boom! The challenge arena is broken, endless stones are flying, countless Diablo monsters are broken down by the stones, and the originally dense monsters are emptied in an instant. Behind the dragon dust, Kuanping's wings tremble and his figure disappears again. When he reappears, he is tens of thousands of miles away. Poof! The dragon's dust roars, the sword is cut down, the void is torn, and the blood fog is all over the sky. You can see the fragments of the broken sword flying, but you can't see the owner of the broken sword. However, from the blood fog, I'm afraid the owner of the broken sword is more or less unlucky. Longchen cuts off a killer of the Night Clan with one knife, and his figure disappears again. When he appears again, he cuts off again. Poof! Another blood mist burst, and another killer of the Night Clan was killed. At that moment, Inside and outside the challenge arena, countless strong people were moved. The hidden talent of the Dark Knight clan failed in front of Longchen. Even the night killers that the heaven could not detect, Longchen could find them accurately and give them a fatal blow. In front of Longchen, this group of night killers, which made countless people fear, could not even fight back. Who is the killer? People's faces were full of horror, and the killer was chased by the prey. Poof, Longchen is cut down again, and another night killer is killed. This is the 17th killer of Longchen. One by one, no one can stop Longchen. Minghong Dao, you are too strong. Half-step immortality has such power. Longchen holds Minghong Dao, and his eyes are full of excitement. Today's Minghong Dao is already a quasi-immortal magic weapon. The power of Longchen is extended through it. With it as an eye, it can see the world clearly, and even Longchen can capture the track of the reincarnation of heaven. In fact, the killers of the Night Clan are also trying their best to attack, resist and escape, but they are locked by Minghong Dao. Longchen doesn't need to bother to deal with their moves. He just needs to work hard, and he will do wonders. Minghong Dao will automatically find the enemy's weakness to attack. Some of the enemy's weaknesses can't even be found by Longchen himself. In the eyes of outsiders, those night killers are just like fools, standing still and letting Longchen chop them to death. In fact, they used countless ways to resist, but they didn't work. Minghong Dao could always find their Achilles heel, find out the strange and hit them. One hit was fatal. Minghong Dao becomes more powerful and more tacit with Longchen. Through Minghong Dao, Longchen seems to see a wider world. The weapons in the hands of those night killers are basically the best boundary domain artifact. In front of Minghong Dao, which is already a half-step immortal weapon, it seems vulnerable. Puff, puff, puff. Behind the dragon dust, Kunpeng's wings vibrate continuously, and the speed is faster and faster. Among the endless dark monsters, it's like blinking, ghost-like figures, appearing in every corner of the battlefield. Every time he appears, he will surely take the life of a night killer. Poof! With a flash and a knife, the dragon dust emerges from the void. It is a night killer, and the long knife penetrates his back into his chest. This time, people finally saw a complete night killer, instead of the blood fog. The night killer was thin and small, with long hands and feet. He looked like a monkey, and his eyes were as black as ink. This was the first time that countless people saw the night killer. However, his dark eyes were full of fear. He seemed to struggle, but his body could not move. If you want to do something, just come and send a group of ghosts to test me? You have lost the right to be my enemy. Standing on the void, Longchen looks into the distance with a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Suddenly, the long knife in his hand trembles. Bang! The killer of the Night Clan burst to pieces. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4227. Looking in the direction Longchen was looking at, through the endless sea of monsters, people saw a group of figures hiding in the dark. Above the challenge arena, there are no trees or buildings, but these creatures are in a strange shadow. There are not many of them, but they are not compatible with the surrounding creatures. In their area, the dark monsters can't get close to them and don't attack them. I don't know whether they can't see them or dare not attack them. In short, it's very strange. They are the night people. They look very similar to the Terrans in appearance, but they are thin and weak. It's hard to imagine that these weak creatures are famous night killers. The Night Clan, originally the Elf Clan, belongs to the branch of the Spirit Clan. Its history can be traced back to the Chaos Era, and it is an extremely ancient species. The Night Elves originated from the Night Elves, but in the archaic times, the Night Elves were seduced by demons. Some of them fell into the dark, separated from the elves, and slaughtered their mother. The Night Elves were almost destroyed by them. Later, the Spirit Clan united and attacked the Night Killers together, which led to the death of the Night Killers. However, the Night Killers had a strong hidden ability. When they were defeated, they hid directly, and the Spirit Clan could not find them. For countless years, the Night Killers, as the Night Overlord, abandoned the identity of the elves and called themselves the Night Clan. The Night Elves are a powerful race. They are good in nature, strong in blood, and have powerful lethality and healing power. But after the Night Clan broke away from the elves, they gave up their healing power and used all their powers to improve their lethality. After countless generations of reproduction, the healing power of the Night Clan has almost disappeared, but their lethality is more and more terrible. Although the Spirit Clan wants to get rid of this traitor race countless times, the Night Clan has been hiding and can't catch them at all. It's only in the last million years that the Dark Night Clan has reappeared for 9 days. However, the present Dark Night Clan is no longer the original Dark Night Clan. The number of them is amazing. Even the Spirit Clan dare not declare war on them easily. Because the races in the Spirit Clan are scattered, few big clans have the strength to deal with the Night Clan alone, and once they fight against the Night Clan will launch bloody revenge if they fail to fight. They will fight against the weak Lingzhu. At that time, Lingzhu will be exhausted. Therefore, Lingzhu is also extremely afraid of the Dark Night Clan and dare not declare war easily. Therefore, today's Night Elves appear on the challenge arena in a dignified manner. Even the Night Elves, who have deep blood feuds with the Night Elves, dare not take revenge on them. The Dark Night Clan has set aside a piece of territory alone, and the well water does not invade the river with the surrounding forces, which is very abrupt. When Long Chen looks at them, it's easy for people to find the target. There are only a few 100,000 people in the Dark Night Clan, but the pressure they give people is amazing. They are exposed to people's sight, but the shadow floats around them, and their bodies are always between the illusory and the real, which seems to disappear at any time. When people's eyes focus on the Dark Night group, there is a figure among them, which attracts everyone's attention. That is a woman. Although she is shorter than the normal Terran women, she is much higher than the other Night people. For example, she stands out from the crowd. What stands out is not only her height and figure, but also the boundless ripple behind her. Behind her, it is like the door of night. Once she opens the door, the world will fall into eternal darkness. Her eyes, there are black stripes in circulation, like the devil's pupil, if you stare, as if the soul will be sucked in. At this time, she also looked at Long Chen coldly. She didn't care about the death of dozens of Night Killers at all. However, in the face of Long Chen's challenge, she didn't seem to be angry either. Her lips wriggled slightly, and her cold voice surged in the void. It's necessary to test. I don't want to kill the unknown or kill the weak enemy. I need to be my opponent a certain qualification. The girl of the Night Clan spoke. She claimed to be a princess. No wonder the whole Night Clan took her as their leader. I really need a certain qualification. I've ordered your head. I don't want you to disturb Brother Longchen. In that way, you will not only waste your efforts, but also lose your life. Your opponent is me. Before Long Chen's reply, the same cold voice came from Dong Minjiu. Dong Minjiu stands with the strong of the undead Minglu clan. Facing the endless dark monsters, they have no pressure. They don't need them at all. They just need some strong of the undead clan to stop them. Dong Minjiu coldly looks at the princess of the Dark Night Clan in the distance. Her eyes are burning with a sense of war. I don't know why. When she notices this woman, some power in her body is quietly awakening. The princess of the Night Clan was about to speak with a cold hum. Suddenly, when she looked at Dong Minjiu carefully, her pupils narrowed slightly. Do you have night elf powers? What did you say? Dong Minjiu was stunned. She didn't understand her meaning. But she suddenly thought of two words, Dark Night Clan? Night elf? Silent in the dark? What's the connection? It doesn't matter what I say. You just need to know that I will cut off your heads myself. In the dark night, the prince's face became gloomy, and her eyes were sharp. Looking at Dong Minjiu, she seemed to see her father's enemy. Dong Minjiu was puzzled, but he felt that it was not easy. What's the relationship between master and night elves? However, no matter how the princess of the Night Clan killed, Dong Minjiu didn't care. The princess of the Night Clan had been listed as her target. The conversation between Dong Minjiu and the princess of the Night Clan made countless people jump wildly, because they also thought of one thing, that is, Ingzone. Is it really related to the Night Elves? Some of the older generation even heard of Silent Night. It is said that Silent Night has a slender body, graceful posture, especially a pair of long legs. It is very different from the Terran, and it is very similar to the Elves. Bang! Just when people speculated about the relationship between Night Silence and Night Elves, the whole challenge arena suddenly burst out, and 9 dragons in the Jiolong border in the central area of the challenge arena burst into pieces. At that moment, countless people's faces changed, Kowloon burst, the border burst open, the bead of Qiyun exposed, people suddenly crazy, it seems that they can't see those dark monsters, straight to the bead of Qiyun. www.Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-28. Countless people rush to the core of the challenge arena. They seem to be crazy, regardless of the dark monster's block. Bang! There was a loud noise, and then there was a sudden change. The huge air ball in the central area roared, and the whole challenge arena exploded. The whole challenge arena, just like a mirror, burst to pieces, and the moment the challenge arena burst to pieces, a scene that shocked everyone happened. No one thought that there was a world below the challenge arena. The world below the challenge arena was the same as here, and it was also full of countless strong men. When the challenge arena burst, the 2 worlds instantly merged, and all creatures were in chaos. Not only the people in the challenge arena were shocked, but also the strong people in the outside world were shocked, because they were shocked to find that the place where the inverted image appeared was not only the challenge arena, but also the whole holy state. How could that be? Countless strong people of the older generation were shocked. Even they could not understand the appearance of this scene. As 2 peas in the mirror, the world under the mirror appears just like this world. No wonder there are so many open sections. It turns out that they are not extinct, but opposite us. Someone exclaimed. In the opposite they saw countless familiar faces. It suddenly occurred to them why many famous forces in the city were empty. Before, they wondered why they didn't come to the Holy King's assembly because these sects had not been extinct. Now they look at the opposite world in horror, and the strong people in the opposite world look at them in horror, as if they have the same idea. Above the challenge arena, it was originally a half ball. After the challenge arena disappeared, it became a huge ball. The worlds on both sides merged. Because of the different positions of different nationalities, the scene suddenly became chaotic. At the foot of Long Chen and others, it turns out that it is the gathering place of the demon army. When the challenge arena disappears, the place where Long Chen is suddenly surrounded by the demon army. Kill. When the demon army saw that Long Chen, a small part of the Terran, was in front of them, they didn't even want to think about it and killed them for the first time. Originally they were foot to foot, but with the disappearance of the challenge arena, everyone immediately adapted to this situation, straightened their bodies, and rushed to kill Longchen. Rely on the border and withdraw upward. The Dragon Blood Army will be the vanguard, the disciple of Xinghe's sect and the disciple of Zhanshan Hall. Others will move randomly. Don't mess up the formation. Dragon Dust a break drink, under the order, the first time rush down. Although there are many people in Longchen's side, they are only part of the Terran. The demon army on the opposite side is boundless and tens of times more than them. If they are surrounded, it will be dangerous. Haha, humble people, resistance is meaningless. Since ancient times, you people are our prey. The powerful demons scream ferociously, one by one, and kill the dragon dust. Fire Lotus of exterminating the world, Long Chen didn't talk much nonsense, and a huge fire lotus was generated in one hand, which spread for tens of thousands of miles in an instant, and the huge lotus exploded in the demon army. Bang! A startling explosion, the spread of lotus, the terrible high temperature sweeping all over the sky. Even people outside the arena can feel the terrible high temperature. In the eyes of countless people's panic, the lotus burst open, the core area covered, and the dense demons were cleared almost instantly. Tens of millions of powerful demons were killed in a single blow. In the void, only a few hundred figures were left, and each figure was wrapped in flames, in a mess. Good fire spirit. Long Chen's attack is just a small test. But I didn't expect that with such terrible power, Huolinger is more and more powerful now, and the power of Suisher Huolian is also soaring. Where is this? I still have more power. Brother Long, let me have a good time. Huolinger was praised by Long Chen and exclaimed excitedly, "Don't worry. You'll have a chance later." Long Chen responded. After Long Chen's attack, he didn't do it again. He didn't even take the opportunity to kill those powerful demons. In fact, those powerful demons are all real experts, all of them are the supreme. They are powerful, but they made a mistake of belittling the enemy. They have a large number of people and strong strength. They all want to be the first to enter the Terran. But they didn't expect that Long Chen's attack would come so fast. They didn't even need the time to build up their strength. They all have such terrible power with a single blow. Although they opened the protection for the first time, they still suffered a big loss. Under the terrible fire, they need to resist with all their strength. If the dragon dust comes at this time, there is a great probability that they can harvest several heads. But Long Chen didn't do that. After a blow, he interrupted the charge of the demon army. Taking advantage of the shock of the demon strongmen, he retreated for the first time to cover the crowd along the border and retreat upward. When the demon army reacts, Long Chen has already protected the crowd and pulled away, retreating to the top of the border. When Long Chen and others retreated, endless dark monsters came to fill the gap. In this way, even if the demon army wanted to rush over, it had a buffer and could not drive straight in. Boom boom. Just as Long Chen and others retreated, chaos and war broke out in other directions. The major races were too close to each other and afraid of each other. In order to defend themselves, they attacked each other, and at the same time, they kept their distance. At the same time, there are also some strong people who go straight to the core area. These strong people are basically real experts. They ignore the Diablo monster and kill a bloody road in the sea of monsters. However, when they rushed to the huge Qiyun ball, they found that there was a terrible boundary outside the Qiyun ball. The boundary was flowing, exuding the power of terror. Boom, a strong man tried to attack the Qiyun ball, but there was a bang, and the Qiyun ball sent out a divine light, which directly shattered the man's weapon. That man was also smart. He not only used long-range attack, but also left the weapon in place after the attack. That's why he escaped. Some people try to communicate with the spirit of the ball, the result of a scream, head split, holding the head, directly fly out. The people who can rush here are the strong among the strong and the experts among the experts. They are very confident in themselves, but there is no way to face the huge ball. But in fact, more powerful people are always hidden in the dark. Even after so many changes, they always hide their strength. Everyone, including Long Chen, has smelled something unusual, and they all firmly believe that the Holy King must fight for strength in the end, and there is no theory of seizing the opportunity. Only those who are not confident in their own strength will seize the opportunity. Now, the bead of Qi Yun appears. As Long Chen expected, the bead can't be opened at all. Boss, suddenly someone yells in the distance, and Long Chen's body shakes. Then he sees a group of familiar faces in the distance, and Long Chen is very excited. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4229. The person who yells at Long Chen is not someone else, but a dragon blood warrior. At this time, at the end of the challenge arena, he shouts with all his life and then transmits the voice. The man was very excited. Originally, he was in a sea of people, and the arena was already in chaos. No one else could be seen. It's a fire lotus of dragon dust that lights up the world and makes him recognize it as dragon dust's unique skill. When Long Chen looks at the crowd, countless people yell at him excitedly. Long Chen always thinks, why is there only such a few people in this reunion of the Dragon Blood Army? It turns out that there are still some people in the opposite world. Now the two worlds overlap, and more Dragon Blood fighters emerge. However, In the opposite world, the dragon blood soldiers don't know each other's existence. Now with the appearance of dragon dust, they suddenly jump out, eager to cross the whole challenge arena and rush directly to dragon dust. "Wait for me," with a loud cry, the wings of Kunpeng tremble behind him, the sword comes out of its sheath, and the long sword's forefinger, like a long gun, rushes towards the front. Puff, puff, puff. Dragon Dust's body rotates rapidly, just like a drill flying by. All the dark monsters blocking in front of Dragon Dust are smashed into powder one after another. Long Chen's speed was too fast and unstoppable. After several breaths, he broke through half of the challenge arena and went directly to the center of the challenge arena. Along the way, Long Chen didn't know how many Diablo monsters he killed. At that moment, countless strong people inside and outside the challenge arena were shocked. They couldn't understand how Long Chen killed these thunder monsters. Because the front finger of Long Chen's long sword and the ripple around it form a transparent light shield. The light shield is like a spear. Every monster who meets the light shield is killed one after another. It's not Terran magic. Someone looked shocked. That's my Kunpeng family's magic power, Kunpeng Paksu, this Terran boy should die. Outside the challenge arena, there are the strong members of the Kunpeng clan. The wings of the Kunpeng clan are refined by a man, which is the shame of the whole Kunpeng clan. Now Long Chen has displayed the ancient magic power of the Kunpeng clan, which is almost lost. The strong Kunpeng clan is both surprised and angry. You know, this move can hardly be seen in the Kunpeng clan. It only exists in the legend. Kunpeng breaking the void is one of the most powerful body methods of the Kunpeng clan. It is said that this move can penetrate the stars, cross the barriers of the world, and travel all over the world. Now Long Chen uses this move to make Kunpeng people angry and jealous. At the same time, he feels hot on his face. It's a great shame and bullying. Damn Terran, dare to blaspheme my Kunpeng pulse, give me death. When Long Chen rushes to the central area of the challenge arena, the void bursts suddenly, and a 10,000 li figure emerges. It is a huge Kunpeng with its wings open, and countless dark monsters are blasted. Kunpeng, who is thousands of miles away, is full of qi and blood, blocking the way of Long Chen. That is the terrible strong man of Kunpeng family. He is angry because he can't open the bead of qi. Now when he sees Long Chen coming, his anger is all vented on Long Chen. Boom! All of a sudden, his big mouth opened, and his whole body was shining. A sharp blade of 10,000 li spewed out from his big mouth and shot at the dragon dust. Its attack is extremely sharp, and the speed of its magic power is extremely fast. As soon as the attack is launched, Long Chen is close to it. At this distance, Long Chen can't avoid it at all. It can be seen that this man is also a strong man who has experienced many battles. He doesn't give Long Chen the chance to retreat at all. If he wants to fight, he will be killed. Poof! The divine light attached to the dragon dust collides with the divine light emitted by the Kunpeng. With a bang, the divine light fills the sky, and then a scene of shock appears for everyone. The light attached to the dragon dust pierced into the mouth of Kunpeng and out of the back of his head, and then the body of Kunpeng burst open in an instant and turned into a blood mist. What? People exclaimed that the strong man of Kunpeng clan was so vulnerable in front of Long Chen. Long Chen didn't pay any attention to him. He broke his attack and killed him instantly. The Kunpeng clan was the most shocked. They knew how strong the attack was, and Long Chen could break it easily because the Kunpeng attack failed at the moment when the two kinds of magic powers contacted. Attack failure only in one case will happen, that is, the level difference of magic power is too big, and it is completely crushed. In the Kunpeng clan, there is a strict hierarchy. On the one hand, this hierarchy is maintained by the purity of blood, on the other hand, it is suppressed by the hierarchy of supernatural powers. The same kind of supernatural power has different levels, and different levels represent different powers. If Kunpeng's supernatural power is level 3, Long Chen's supernatural power has reached level 5. There is no such rule in the human race, but it is very common in the monster family. Long Chen's ability to kill that Kunpeng strongman so easily means that he can crush each other easily in his magic power. As a result, countless Kunpeng strongmen can't sit still. The magic power of the Kunpeng clan has reached this level in a human race, which is a shame that the Kunpeng clan can't accept. Boom! The attack of the powerful Kunpeng clan didn't stop the pace of Longchen at all, and even the speed didn't drop a bit. Longchen flew rapidly, invincible and unstoppable. Bang! After several breaths, Longchen crossed the whole challenge arena, killed countless Diablo monsters, and finally came to the opposite Terran strongmen camp. Boss, when Longchen arrived, the dragon blood soldiers, who had been waiting excitedly, galloped out of the crowd. When they saw Longchen, their eyes turned red, and even some people's voices choked. Dragon Dust is also very excited, holding the dragon blood soldiers on the shoulder. Give them a hard hug. Other dragon blood soldiers, because they do not know each other at this time because of the arrival of Dragon Dust, and gathered together, a warm embrace, excited tears. Longchen counted it a little. There are nearly 3,000 dragon blood warriors here, which are basically unprecedented in the world. Moreover, their strength is uneven. Many of them are very weak, and some of them even fail to reach the highest level. Some of their brothers are in shabby clothes, and their armor is full of cracks. Obviously, they have a miserable life. Without good resources, there is no room for improvement. Brothers, I've made you suffer. Longchen's voice choked. These are his blood brothers. Seeing them like this, Longchen's heart is as painful as a knife. There are a lot of people here who are not strong enough to cross mountains and rivers to come here. They don't know how many dangers they have encountered along the way. They come here desperately in order to reunite with him. Longchen is full of guilt. Brothers are all good brothers, but his boss is not a good boss, so his brothers suffer with him. Since it's so painful, it's better to die. Why don't you let me give you a ride? When Longchen and others were very excited, a strange voice came. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4230 Dragon Dust is talking with the dragon blood soldiers. Suddenly a harsh voice came. Let the dragon blood soldiers suddenly angry. According to the reputation, there are a group of strong people in royal yellow robes among the Terrans, who are very eye-catching. Yellow is generally the exclusive color of emperors. It is said that wearing yellow robes requires corresponding chi luck, otherwise they will suffer bad luck. Therefore, ordinary practitioners will not wear yellow robes. When Longchen was in the Zhuge Empire, he knew about the origin of the yellow robe. The royal descendants must wear the yellow robe, which is not only a symbol of identity, but also a continuation of Qi Yun. Even if the Rosefinch Empire is overthrown, as long as the royal blood is still alive and the royal disciples are still wearing yellow robes, it proves that the inheritance of firewood has not been cut off. However, if the royal disciples are afraid to expose their identities and dare not add themselves to the imperial robes, then the last flame of the royal spirit will be extinguished and there will be no hope of revival. After learning this in Zhuge Empire, Longchen suddenly realized that Xia Guhong was still wearing a yellow robe. That is to say, Xia Guhong wanted to recover de Xia. In front of this group of strong people in yellow robes appeared. Countless strong people in the outside world changed their faces and exclaimed. They could hardly believe their eyes. Descendants of the emperor, this time, even the older generation of strong people in Lingshao Academy were moved. They did not expect to see them. It's unexpected that the descendants of the emperor appeared here in the 8 wastelands of the town of 5 emperors. Moreover, with the aura of qi and spirit on their heads, it seems that their pulse has begun to revive. The lord of the temple, who didn't speak all the time, couldn't help opening his mouth. Today, the 5 great emperors have almost disappeared. Only the Empress of Daxia is known, but he has been hiding in the wine palace and does not care about the world. I thought that the inheritance of the 5 emperors had been cut off, and only Daxia was still struggling. Unexpectedly, the descendants of Renhuang appeared here again, but I didn't know which line they were from. Bai Shishi's mother couldn't help saying, "The great Xia Emperor is the ancestor of Xia Guhong. It is said that when the human race rose, there were 5 emperors. That was the most glorious moment of the human race. The 4 seas were pacified, the 8 wastelands were subdued, and the 10,000 tribes were mainly for the human race. It's just a big war. The Terran is in complete decline. This war is too long and there is no historical record. People don't know what happened. Now, the Emperor's relationship appears again, which should be a happy thing. But no one thought that the descendants of the Emperor's relationship had a tie with Longchen, which made the strong people of Lingxiao Academy full of worries. In the challenge arena, the Dragon Blood soldiers were very angry. Looking at the descendants of the Emperor, they found that there were hundreds of thousands of them. The head of the group was white and proud. He looked very young, but his eyes were full of vicissitudes. This person didn't show any breath, but the imperial power was agitated. The noble spirit was amazing, standing in the crowd, but with its own aura, such as standing out from the crowd, eye-catching to the extreme. He is like an emperor standing high above. Even if he stands at the same height and looks at him, people still have a feeling of looking up to him. This person is looking at Longchen coldly, that sour and mean words also exactly come from his mouth. Don't you know when you've got a face to beat? Do you think wearing a yellow tortoise shell can protect your head from being cut off? Since we are all human beings, I would like to remind you that don't provoke me, or I won't get used to your problems. Longchen cold hum away. Longchen doesn't know the other person's identity. Even if he knows it, he doesn't care. He doesn't know this person, so this person will make provocations, which is not a good thing. Longchen feels that this person's breath is very terrible, but Longchen doesn't care. He never makes trouble, but he is never afraid of anything. Bold, dare to despise the descendants of the Emperor, believe it or not, kill your 9 families. Longchen sneered at the man, and immediately angered countless people. Someone yelled. After listening to the man's words, Longchen is too lazy to pay attention to him. The person who can say such words, even if he is not an idiot, is not much different. I don't care if you've been buried for a long time and your brain is affected. Anyway, once again, there's no injustice or hatred between us. Don't provoke me or I'm sure you will regret it. Longchen looks at the head of that person, cold tunnel. As soon as Longchen said this, countless people suddenly realized that it was no wonder that some of them had a very strange smell, but they could not tell where it was. Longchen's buried too long suddenly awakened them, and they instantly understood that this descendant of the Emperor should be a seal. Not only him, but also many strong people around him are also seals. As for when the seal was made, no one knows. It should be the opening of this holy king's meeting that they were awakened. From the perspective of their breath, they are totally different from the breath of the modern strong. They should be a group of pride of the ancient times. People are shocked at the same time, but also shocked by the sharp insight of Longchen at a glance to see the difference of each other. As soon as Longchen opened his mouth, he was full of gunpowder. The strong people of Lingxiao Academy all sighed silently. Longchen made a strong enemy again, and it was very terrible. Ha ha ha. The Empress looked up at the sky and laughed. His voice was full of arrogance. I don't know you, but I've heard your name. I heard that you are very arrogant, and I especially like arrogant people. If Yen Wuji wants to unify the human race and end the era of the separatist regime, he needs to get rid of some unconventional assassins, and you are the one I chose. Yen family? That person is the descendant of Yen Nantian, the Emperor of Dian. When the man gave out his name, countless people exclaimed that he was a descendant of the royal family of Dian Empire. Finally, people knew his origin. Among the 5 emperors, the Dian Emperor ranks second in strength. It is said that they are feuds with the Daxia Emperor. It's just that the Emperor of the Xia dynasty has a chaotic artifact, the dragon bird of the Xia dynasty, which has been suppressing the Emperor of the Yen dynasty. Some people say that among the 5 great emperors, the Dian Emperor is the most powerful. He lacks the magic weapon to resist the great Xia dragon bird. Otherwise, the head of the 5 emperors must be the Dian Emperor. Some people talk about Tao. No, if the 2 emperors are feuds? So the Emperor of the Xia dynasty has a chaotic artifact in his hand, the dragon bird of the Xia dynasty. Why don't you kill the swallow directly and never suffer from it? Questions have been raised. because someone didn't allow him to do that. There is humanity. Who can make the emperor obey? Someone exclaimed. However, the person who spoke before lost his voice. I don't know or dare not say. When Yen Wuji reported his identity, he shocked the whole audience, and countless people talked about it, but Long Chen laughed. Do you still want to unify the Terran? Are you trying to laugh me to death? Compared with elder brother Xia Guhong, the difference between your imperial spirit and that of elder brother Xia Guhong is more than 100,000 8,000 li? Do you know Xia Guhong? When he heard Xia Guhong's name, Yen Wuji's eyes suddenly burst with his intention to kill him, and all the people around him suddenly held down the weapon. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4231. In the face of Yen Wuji and others' endless killing intention, Long Chen said faintly, "That's my elder brother." "Where is he now?" Yen Wuji barked. "Are you going to die?" Long Chen disdains the tunnel. "Will not open his mouth, your highness." Long Chen's sneer completely angered all the strong men of Yen Huang's pulse, one of them facing Yen Wuji. When the man spoke, his whole body was full of 3 colors, which made the heaven and earth roar. The chaotic qi interweaved around him, and his prestige was amazing. Everyone was shocked. This man was just a subordinate of Yen Wuji, but his breath was so terrible that he was more powerful than the ordinary 3 extreme supreme. Long Chen stands with a negative hand and says nothing. He looks at Yen Wuji and others coldly. At this time, he is also full of anger. Now that thousands of people are coming and there are endless powerful enemies, this man wants to be recognized by the Terran, wants to unify the Terran, does not fight with foreign enemies, but wants to bully the Terran to build power. He is as stupid as a pig and as stupid as a donkey. Long Chen is not afraid of any strong, but he is not arrogant. He feels that he is invincible in the world and can choose the pride of the whole world by himself. He didn't do his best before. He wanted to keep his strength. He wanted to defend the Dragon Blood Legion and those kind people as much as possible. But in front of him, the descendant of the Emperor clearly has strong strength, but the mouse resists the gun, which makes Long Chen angry. Long Chen does not speak, just quietly looking at the other side. As long as the other side dare to start, Long Chen will do his best, never merciful. You step down, you are not his opponent. Yen Wuji didn't answer the man's request and waved him back. He was also a descendant of the Emperor. He was also a lineal blood. Before he was sealed, he fought in the battlefield and never defeated. However, although he has the blood of Emperor, he can't surpass the etiquette of monarchs and ministers. He should respect Yen Wuji and not disobey orders. Although he retreated, he didn't accept that Long Chen was his opponent. Yen Wuji ignored the man, but looked at Long Chen. Good. Since you have an affair with the descendants of Da Xia, I don't need to worry about you anymore. Don't you call yourself Xia Guhong's brother? Well, Dian and Da Xia are enemies. I'll use your head to fight in the afternoon. Looking at Yen Wuji, Long Chen laughed angrily. In this case, there's no need to talk nonsense. Anyone who attacks someone on Long will be regarded as a mortal enemy by someone on Long. But I have only one way to deal with the enemy, that is to kill them all. The dragon killed all the way up to the fairyland. He never said a word. If you don't believe me, just try. Long Chen's voice is getting colder and colder. If before his words were with warning, now every word is with killing intention. However, Long Chen's heart is full of fear. He doesn't worry about himself. What he worries about is the dragon blood soldiers around him. Once the war started, he could not take care of these brothers at all. Most importantly, many of these brothers were of average strength and poor equipment. Once the scuffle started, it was bound to cause a large number of casualties. However, Yen Wuji and others are aggressive. If Long Chen is soft, they will certainly intensify their efforts. This is an unsolvable situation. If they want to resolve it, there is only one war. Long Chen has made up his mind. Once the opponent makes a move, he can rush over and kill the enemy as fast as he can, so that they don't have a chance to attack the dragon blood soldiers. At the same time, Long Chen also began to send a message to Guoran and others. Let them quickly come over. Originally he was going to take people directly back, but now I'm afraid not, can only wait for them to come over to join. Well, I'm afraid your ancestors didn't know which tree to pick peaches in when Dian royal family was brilliant. Threatening me with big words? You are so naive. I'm going to try it today. What's wrong with you? Yen Wuji sneers, not moved by Long Chen's killing intention at all, and then comes to Long Chen. Long Chen takes a deep breath and touches the Minghong sword behind him with his big hand. His whole back is slightly arched. His whole body is like a hunting leopard. Mori Lung's killing intention locks Yen Wuji in an instant. Yen Wuji's face was full of disdain, but when Long Chen's killing intention locked him, his face changed slightly. For the first time in his life, he was locked. Wuji child, don't be rampant. Kneel down and take grandfather's arrow. At this time, an arrogant and lazy voice came. As soon as the voice fell, an arrow appeared in Yen Wuji's face. The arrow was too weird. There was no arrow path, no trajectory, no fluctuation. When it appeared, it was less than 3 inches away from Yen Wuji's gate. Yen Wuji was surprised and angry. When he hit it with one punch, the arrow burst and broke, and the arrow appeared strange. However, Yen Wuji's punch, which was able to hit the arrow first, could smash it directly, and the speed of response was amazing. Damn bastard, you get out of here. I'm going to tear you to pieces. Yen Wuji roared. In the roar, his face was distorted, as if he had met an enemy who killed his father. Everyone was shocked. Someone dared to sneak on Yen Wuji, the queen of Chinese descent. And listening to Yen Wuji's voice, this man seemed to be his old enemy. Wuliang Palace in front of Wuliang Mountain, Wuliang Pine outside Wuliang Gate, Tianjiu's pursuit of dreams, and there is no way out. Once met with Emo Nien, it becomes empty. At this time, the lazy voice came again. It was not loud, but it covered up the whole battlefield. In the roar of the dark monster, it could still be clearly introduced into everyone's ears. I knew this guy must be there. A happy smile appeared on Long Chen's face. Every time you come out, you have to make a mystery. Who else can you have besides Emo Nien? In fact, when Emo Nien opened his mouth, Long Chen recognized him. If you add at percent, I add at percent, you have the seed to show me. To everyone's surprise, as soon as Emo Nien opened his mouth, Yen Wuji, who was arrogant, suddenly became angry and despondent, just like a woman swearing at the street, swearing at the void. For a moment, everyone, including Long Chen, was dumbfounded. How much hate was there to make Yen Wuji curse people regardless of his image? Son, you are wrong. If I didn't dig you out of the soil, how could you catch up with this grand gathering? It's revenge. You are the descendant of a great emperor. You are ungrateful. You have the power to harm the emperor. Emo Nien sighed and said slowly. Although Emo Nien's voice is surging between heaven and earth, no one can determine his position. Even Long Chen can't feel it. This guy must have used some magic power to hide. I'll go to hell with you and die for me. Yen Wuji is furious. Suddenly he stops drinking and rushes away in a direction. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4232, Bang, the void is broken down, and Yen Wuji punches down. The huge power makes the void crack like a mirror. Within hundreds of thousands of miles, all the dark monsters turn into nothingness in an instant. Yen Wuji's speed and destructive power make countless people smack their tongue. You know, Yen Wuji didn't even summon the vision at this time. It's just a random strike, but it has caught up with the desperate strike of the Supreme Three. But, startled back to startle, Yen Wuji after a blow, void burst, but even the shadow of Emo Nien did not touch. At the beginning, Long Chen was really scared. He thought Yen Wuji's perception was sharper than him. He locked the position of Emo Nien. You know, even he couldn't perceive the position of Emo Nien. Just now, when Emo Nien was talking, his voice was erratic, rootless, and passive. He couldn't trace the source, let alone be accurate. It was impossible to roughly judge his position. At the beginning of Yen Wuji, Long Chen thought he caught the breath of Emo Nien, but Yen Wuji was cheated by Emon Yen. Damn rat, there's a seed to fight. Yen Wuji's attack was ineffective. He lost face and could not help roaring. Yen Wuji roared, the endless imperial power stirred, and even those dark monsters were shaken by his voice. For the first time, they appeared a similar fear mood and avoided him. Cut, even if you come out, what can you do? You couldn't help me last time? Emon Yen's voice was sneering, but he just didn't show up. As soon as Emon Yen's words came out, people were shocked. Emotion, the guy named Emon Yen, had already dealt with Yen Wuji. Looking at Yen Wuji's angry appearance, I'm afraid the resentment between them is not small. If you hadn't escaped quickly last time, you would have died in the emperor's tomb. How dare you be brave? Yen Wuji drinks angrily. Well, I would be afraid of you if you didn't have too many people last time. You are too many to bully, and am not allowed to run? It's so funny. Besides, you are ungrateful. If I didn't dig you out of the graveyard, would you be able to catch up with the king's assembly? Emon Yen disdains tunnel. Hearing this, Long Chen suddenly realized that this guy, Emon Yen, had touched Yen Huang's tomb. It must be this guy who stole from the tomb and woke up Yen Wuji. In other words, Yen Wuji was not awakened, but was awakened by Emon Yen. If Long Chen's expectation is not bad, these ancient people were awakened together. No wonder they immediately gnashed their teeth when they heard Emon Yen's voice. That's like imitating Buddha to kill Emon Yen. Asshole, you don't run away. Come out and fight like a man, one-on-one, never die. Yen Wuji roars. Looking at Yen Wuji's angry appearance, countless people secretly shake their heads. Yen Wuji is a queen. Although she has strength, she is not very good. Although people don't know the deep hatred between Yen Wuji and Emon Yen, even if there is the hatred of killing his father and robbing his wife, it's really disappointing that as a queen, she is so impatient and has no calmness. Such people also want to lead the Terran? I'm afraid, as Long Chen said, it's too long buried in the ground. My brain is affected by damp, and I still live in ancient times? Pull it down quickly. You said the same thing last time. In the end, didn't a group of people beat me together? People of queen descent are really unusual. In the words of Long Chen, you can eat the excrement you pull back without changing your face. We can't imitate that. Emon Yen disdains tunnel. I almost read it back to the emperor. It's really bad for all of them. Death, Yen Wuji roared, suddenly hit with a fist. The space in the distance collapsed, endless dark monsters were killed, and blood was flying. Boom boom. Yen Wuji smashed 7 or 8 fists in a row, and the void kept exploding. The dark monsters had a bad luck. I don't know how many monsters died miserably under Yen Wuji's fist. Although Yen Wuji is a casual blow, his power is terrifying. A random blow is accompanied by terrifying heavenly power. He is like an emperor attached to the body. He can control all kinds of ways. Every blow has the power to destroy heaven and earth. But this power is terrible, but people are surprised and funny, because Yen Wuji's 7 or 8 fists are all smashed empty, let alone force Emon Yen, and even Emon Yen's shadow is not touched. But I don't want to tell you the truth. That day in the emperor's tomb, did a group of you beat me? Even if a group of people of the same rank beat me, there were so many congenital gods besieging me. Even if the heaven god is congenital, he will open the imperial tomb array at the same time to trap me. Is that the one-on-one in your mouth? Ink red light tunnel. Put your mother's fart, you go into my grave to steal things, shit in my coffin, and want to wake up other sleeping elders. I don't kill you, do you still have you? Yen Wuji roars. Yen Wuji this roar, countless people's mouths are wide open. Emon Yen this guy is also too bad, this is what people do? Well, you can't blame me. If you blame me, I'll blame you for not changing your offerings. I've eaten a bad stomach. I'm a civilized person and I can't go anywhere. I see a coffin, so I can only use it for emergency. When I saw a coffin, I could only pry it open, and then I flew straight down. Who knew there was a man lying inside? There are some grievances in the voice of Emon Yen. This time, even Long Chen opened his mouth wide. Now he finally understood why Yen Wuji hated Emon Yen so much. It seems that Yen Wuji can already do it. If it was someone else, I'm afraid he would have been crazy. Why don't you shut up? Yen Wuji roared. He was so angry that his hair was long and his eyes were straight. His killing intention was like a volcanic eruption. Okay, you tell me to shut up. I'll just shut up. I'm really wrong about this. I'll give you an apology. How about from now on, the well water doesn't break the river water? Mo Nyen took advantage of the slope to make peace with him. How can you at #UN%? If I don't tear you to pieces, it will be hard for me to get rid of my hatred. Yen Wuji yelled at him, and once again he was rude. But this time, no one jokes that he is not calm enough. After all, anyone who has suffered such humiliation is no better than him. Damn it, don't you want to be shameless? The mouth that ate excrement is smelly. Is it because you ate Laozi's excrement, or did you grow up eating excrement this time? Mo Nyen was also angry, and directly scolded. At the moment when Mo Nyen scolds back, Long Chen knows that it's bad, because at the moment when Mo Nyen scolds, his mood swings suddenly expose his position. I found you did. Yen Wuji's eyes suddenly become sharp, step out, and her figure disappears. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.